Greetings, Clobberers. Welcome to Saturday Night Star Trek. It is a bit of an open Trek special.
Whee!
Yes. Oh, my goodness. I was not expecting that. That's almost a Raquel level wee.
Not bad.
Sorry, is that trademarked? I couldn't do that.
No. Well, we won't tell if you won't. We won't tell her.
I won't tell her.
Everyone expects a wee every now and then.
The Comic Relief Crusader gave me the idea, so shout out to him.
Well, he's a troublemaker.
He is a troublemaker.
She makes the best fart noises, though.
She does. Welcome, everyone. Our wonderful first officer, Raquel, could not make it tonight, of course. So we just thought I'd get the crew together, and we would just we'll give you a little bit of Trek talk. We'll just talk a little bit of, I don't know, we'll go all over the place, but we won't have to review episodes tonight. And I'm not going to say any more about the episodes until next week. The wonderful, lovely episodes that we are just tragically not going to be able to talk about tonight.
Do not violate the Prime Directive.
You've got to just hold it another week, folks. Hold it.
General Order number 1.
Number 1, I order you to take a number 2.
Number 2.
Yeah. Put your Android phones away.
And we have wonderful guests here anyway. My crew is here to back me up. And before I announce our wonderful crew, we're going to say hello to a very special friend who was here with us. You've seen him in the chat from time to time. He dropped by, and he is we've been friends for many decades. He's one of us. He loves his Trek. He loves his geekness, and he's one of the dearest friends I've ever had in my life. He is just one of the greatest, Mr. Ace Cast Iron. He is a true superhero. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Thank you for having me, and yours is superior.
Yours is. Yeah, we tend, like my good buddy Steve Mitchum, he and I, we tend to talk in quotes a lot.
That sounded like Joaquin.
Joaquin, yeah. I shall avenge you.
I shall avenge you.
I shall avenge you.
And he might just sort of like Wrath of Khan a bit. He might just be a little fond of it.
You've seen it 3 or 4 times?
Yeah, 3 or 4,000 times right there. Hey, dude, in September, there's a Fathom event. It's going to be playing in the theater. You're going with me, I hope, Ace.
I got to.
I finally saw Wrath of Khan in theaters on a fandom event.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah, nice. Great. And this is the 40th anniversary, man. And in a couple weeks ago,
I can't believe it. 40.
Have me, and I shall have him.
I'll chase him round the
moons of Libya, round the stars, Maelstrom, and round Perdition's flames.
Yeah, love it. And of course, in a couple of weeks, you're going to see motion picture at the Fathom event as well. We'll say our hellos in a minute, everyone. First, I want to thank the great Mark D with us here, my chief engineer, for being here with me tonight.
Oh,
hey, buddy.
You.
Always appreciate it, man.
I could either be there or camping in the woods in the rain, so this is much better.
Well, there you go. I second that, buddy. And let's see here. And our wonderful communications officer, Anti-Derivative Jill. Thank you for being here, Jill. And thank you for having me on your show yesterday.
Oh, you're welcome. Honored. You're awesome.
Thank you so much. And our chief of security, the great Lord Thoth, LT, buddy. Avon lives and long live the Legion, bub.
Avon lives, long live the Legion. I am so honored to be invited on here. Thank you very much for that. Shout out to the chat. You guys are awesome as always. And I just wanted to say that this is going to be a good time. We're going to have some fun. And it's nice to actually be on the stream with Ace Cast Iron. Good to meet you, man.
Same here.
Indeed. I'm glad to have him on. I think we tried to hook up to do a show last year and you were busy, but when I do my next Legion show, I hope Ace can show up. Soon, LT, the Blake 7 show, I promise everybody is coming.
That sounds like Legion 2 great shows.
Also, Ace, LT and I are going to review the Great Darkness Saga in the not too distant future. So love
that gets at least 3 reads a year from me.
Wow, 3 a year. Wow, it's amazing. I read it about a year and a half ago. Reread it again, man. It's just it's tough to pick a better. There's no better Legion saga, probably for sure. At least saga, maybe better individual stories, but.
And I think it's right before Giffen went nuts with his arm.
About a year or so before, yeah. He stayed not too long after that. He screwed the pooch there for sure, which is a shame. But what a run, man!
Well, my floppies are getting in pretty rough shape, so I picked up the trade paperback years ago. And it's funny because there's been some postings online and showing the covers again and that great art because of who we've lost the last couple of weeks. We lost some giants of comics.
Two giants.
And that I was looking at my trade paperback the other day, and it's getting pretty rough shape. I'll have to pick up a new one.
That was one of the earliest trade paperbacks, and I remember. Oh well, you still have that poster framed on your wall, dude? Because it had the smaller version of the big Giffen poster that I have framed, which you can see on my wall right there.
Yeah, no
Absolutely.
doubt.
Yep. See over there's my big. There's my Legion Giffen poster framed I've had for like 30-something years up there.
That is a great poster, man. I love that poster.
Yeah, I have it in my Cave of Silence.
Indeed. I love it, as all Legion fans should. So, let's see here. Monday night, everyone. Since the past 2 Monday nights, of course, it's very strange. The past 2 Monday night Mark C Comics Talk, we've had to say goodbye to 2 of the giants of the field, the great Neil Adams, rest in peace, and then the great George Perez, 2 of the greatest artists ever. So this week, I hope we don't lose another. The week before that, James Bama. So hopefully I could just do a stream about just open comics talk this Friday night. Monday night Mark C Comics Talk. Please join me for that. Wednesday, Wildcard Wednesday, and then of course Clubby's Clubhouse Thursday night. Hopefully Raquel will be back for that, as will Mark D. And anyway, I want to thank the great Michael French, for joining me this past Wednesday night. What a fantastic time I had talking to him about the MCU. Retro Blasting is an extraordinary channel. If you've not already, my friends, please go check that out. He's just, man, Retro Blasters. I love them. And in a couple of months, the return of Iconicon. Had a great time doing that online con with them last year. And we got a big Iconicon planned for July, I believe it is. It's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know all my panels yet. One will be toy-based comics. Mark C, you'll like that. Micronauts, ROM.
Oh yeah,
I know you love Micronauts. So,
love my Micronauts. Yep.
Yeah.
Because talk about ROM.
We're gonna do ROM, man.
ROM is a great comic too.
ROM is my
comic.
favorite.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
ROM maybe. Oh, I can't say because I love my Micronauts, but
You're Micronauts
overall, ROM. Well, the first 12 issues of Micronauts are just phenomenal. But I'll give ROM. ROM is. I'll say they're equal. I don't want to anger anyone.
Yeah. Oh no, they're all. Yeah.
Yeah, but
we'll
some really great ROM comics too. I mean, you joke about it's a silly toy, but it's comic.
I wanted that toy so bad.
The toy was garbage too. I did want it bad,
but I wanted it.
It didn't work, but it was. I had a friend who had it. It did not. It was a piece of garbage.
I wanted
that. You do want it. Yeah.
I think Marvel lost the modern rights to it. So it'd be nice to see them do a good figure.
They wouldn't even do a trade. They could do even or an omnibus because the Parker Brothers has it. So some quick hellos and we'll get on here, folks. Thank you all for being here with us tonight. I'm gonna do them quickly. Phantom Outsider, good to see you, buddy. The Comic Relief Crusader, you old rascal, good to see you. Good to see you here. Let's see here. I'm writing names. I'd like to write everybody down. You know that. Even though this is a special night, we still want to shout everyone out that we can. Kal-El, buddy, the super one. Good to see you, bro. Let's see here. We got Pleasant Valley Picker. Hello. Raymond Feliciano, good to see you, buddy. James T. Kirk, as in JT Kirk, always a pleasure, my friend. Thank you for being here. Apollome's Minion and Pupper. Love you, Apollome. Good to see you. I hope you're driving safely out there. And the secret is to bang the rocks together, guys. Enigmatic Drop Air. Good to see you, my friend. ED. All righty. Steve Mitchum, the great Maddie's daddy. Good to see you there, brother. Good to see you, man.
What's up, Steve?
Yes, Steve, Ace. Steve, you guys remember each other. Amanda Bear. Hello. The Catman, aka Dee Dee Myers. I hope you're doing well and your family as well, my friend. Mr. Angel, what's up, Chef? Good to see you there, buddy. Wendy Webb, Trauma Warrior. Good to see you there, Wendy. I'm honored to have you here. I hope you and yours are doing well. Psychosis 29. That's a new one. I don't know you, but I like that name. I don't know what it is, but I like it. Wolfie Buddy. All right. Pop Culture Curator. Sandra Feliciano. Good to see you, love. J.D. Lewis. All right, my buddy. Good to see you, old friend. Grant C. I know who that is.
Yeah.
That's a superhero, right? A cast iron. He's got the C, so he knows he is cast iron as well. I love it. Oh man. Con, Hello there, Khan. I didn't write the whole name. The Barbarian. Is it Khan the Barbarian? Barbarianator. I apologize. I didn't write the whole name down like an idiot. I wasn't looking at terrible eyesight. But welcome, sir. Sorry I butchered your name there, but in fact, we owe you a Khan, but I don't have a recording of it. So.
Oh, I got to send that to you. I got one.
Thanks. Just Joe 47 Jobber Buddy. Good to see you, man. Old friend. The great master of all this French Canadian Chris Persia. Dadman Walking. Good to see you there, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Hope you and Miss Dadman are doing well. Let's see.
Keep eating that unicorn ice cream to feel better.
Yep.
That's the cure for everything.
Yep. Captain James T. Skywalker, buddy. Max Redstone. Yeah. Oh, the Befriender. I'm sorry, buddy. It's Karn. It's Karn the Befriender. Terrible eyesight. Won't happen again. Very pleased to see you. Yes. Karn, you bloodsucker. Yep. Good to see you there. And Terrell, 72, buddy. All right. Good to see you. Now, again, as you all know, as we said, our wonderful first officer's not here tonight. So, no reviews of any TNG episodes. Conan licensed. What are you putting news back there for some reason?
Well, that was new. Yeah, that's for another night.
But tonight, but yeah,
I know. That's why I put it. That's why I put it in the private chat. So yeah,
no, I got you. I do like that news though, because Marvel sucks and they don't have any business doing Conan.
Yeah.
So yeah. Cut up my old friend. He did one day. Ace would just do a whole show. We called quoting
a
Khan.
quote show. Quote show. All quotes.
We love it.
You know what that should be? That should be your first level for memberships if you ever get around to that. It could be the Con level.
Yeah, it will be a level. Clobberin. Oh, I'm sorry. Ooh, did I bring that Clobberin? Oh no, that's never going to happen. Clobberin is never going to happen, folks. That's all made up. It's a rumor. Milton Knowles, the Insane Witch King. I like that name. I like the elaborate names there. Milton. Good to see you. Thank you for dropping by to Saturday Night Star Trek. Oh, well, we got a bot. I'm gonna. Did you get it or I'll get it?
This Persia's in the house, so we're safe.
Oh yeah. Oh, he got it before me. When I get it, it actually disappears for me. But when someone else gets it, it just stays up there. And yeah, I'm clicking on it now. Let's see. Ooh, no, just kidding. You can't click on it.
Thank you, Chris.
Yes, thank you, D. Chris. Appreciate you, that buddy. So look, one thing I want to talk on, because every time, remember when we were reviewing the original series, some smarty pants named Lord Thoth would heckle me every time we would talk about an episode, and I would go, "Man, I love it. That's probably a top tenner." And then he would say, "You say that every time. It's like you have 30 top teners or whatever." Remember, LT? And,
yes, it's a warm memory. A warm.
We'll put you on the spot tonight.
Wait, what?
We put you on that damn. I want to see.
I have 79 top teners.
Yeah. Oh, I see how you play. I see how you is. Hey, that 70s. What's up, buddy?
Hey, that 70s show.
Hey,
rock
70s.
fan. I mean,
rock fan. That 70s rock man. With the rock plan, because we're just gonna have a little fun tonight talking some original Trek. See, I almost flipped to call it real Trek, but I'm diplomatic here. It's my favorite. I bias. I don't care who knows it. Okay, but hey, we're being nice to the next generation, aren't we?
It's mostly good and
I surrender.
Mostly bad.
It's a roller coaster ride.
The surrender generation. We used to joke about that all the time. How we used to call him Picard Captain Conference. I mean, he did though, dude.
Conference.
They're under attack by the Borg. Conference.
I'll be in my ready room.
Yes.
Tashi Rogers got killed. Conference.
Yes. Parrot head, buddy. Well, I happen to know for a fact tonight is not wasting away in Margaritaville.
Hey, Project Story.
It's not a bad plan though.
No, it would be a place. It'd be a place to go.
Narada Max Amanda Bear too. Oh wow!
Yeah,
everybody's showing up.
Project, what's up, dude?
Milton Knowles, good to see you.
Milton?
I love it when a plan comes together.
Yes. Oh my goodness! And speaking of that, so Thoth,
Clubby.
I didn't ask anyone else necessarily, but I want to get their favorites too. We're going to talk a little bit of original series because this is the first time I've had you. I don't know the second time I've had you on Saturday Night Star Trek. Sorry. But it's about time we had a reckoning. About time I had my vengeance and my vengeance in this world or the next. About your top 10. Yeah. So I want to get you and I will give our top 10s, and then our friends, our other friends who are with us, they're not on the spot, but I want to get theirs. If they want to make 10 or just give us top 5 or whatever that they love. We're going to talk a little bit of original Star Trek, and of course we're going to do some other stuff, but I want to talk a little bit of our favorite episodes. But I wanted to do this to you so I can embarrass you a little bit. That's kidding. Because I know Spock's brain. I know Spock's brain is on there. I know.
Oh, that's my number 2
factor. And the children shall lead.
We're heading out to Eden.
Yeah,
brother.
Now I want to watch Free Enterprise again.
Yes, that does make me want to watch Free Enterprise again.
Well, you could just turn this into
brain?
a Free Enterprise watch party because I've never seen it.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Joe, I
love
think
it.
you'd enjoy that. It's a lot of fun. Yeah.
It was good. Robert
gotta
Meyer Burnett.
Robert Meyer Burnett. We got to get maybe we can get him to join us. We definitely we're gonna do that. We're gonna make
Yeah,
Raquel
that'd be
watch
awesome.
that one day.
Toys R Us, like they made those strips in Free Enterprise.
Yeah, they did all this crap that we did. And they would go to the bookstore,
Oh, I love going to Toys R Us. I love going there for the toys.
comic shop, and then out to eat and crap. All the same crap we used to do. That was one of the. So
good times.
So do you have your list there, Mister Lord Thulcer?
I did. Do you want to count down from 10? Is that what
Go
you'd like
from
to do?
10, man. Let's do 10. I got.
Are we
10.
going to do it like quick, or my reasons why, or just?
Let's go for it, man. We'll do. You can do it.
We'll do it quick.
Some reasons, but a few reasons.
Yeah,
right?
give us. You can elaborate a little bit. You give yours. I'll give mine, and we'll be. It'll give us. And we'll have our friends comment on them, I guess.
Oh, absolutely. They can do it. They can jump in too if they have
Yes,
their top
indeed.
10. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Number-
my
number
list
10.
right now.
My number 10 is The Devil in the Dark, first season.
Oh, that's too
episode
low.
25.
You're fired. No.
You're fired.
I forgot to tell you the rules.
Oh, what's the rule?
Almost lost. Oh, you popped out for a second there, Ace. There you go. You're backed up. You hear me?
Oh, yes, I do. Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Devil in the Dark. Great one. Go for it. Talk.
I love how that we got a chance to see a fish out of water episode. So you had the main cast, you had Spock and Kirk trying to lead a security team to deal with a situation on a planet that we've never seen before, and we also got a chance to see a different part of the Federation, and it's the whole spooky in the caverns of the planet, the search for the technology to fix something in order to be able to get the atmospheric conditioners back online. And I love it. I think it really gave Leonard Nimoy a chance to act out some things that just really pushed his acting talents to the forefront. And we got to see how amazing he is as an actor. We got to see Captain Kirk feeling helpless, and then all of a sudden they're face to face with this monster, this giant pizza without pineapple on it, and it was it's one of the best episodes of Star Trek of all time. So yeah, it's my number 10.
I love it. I got now. Mark is going to get mad at me. The other Mark D, because I have at my number 10. I have the Galileo 7.
Oh, that's my number 9.
Oh, cool. There you go. Yeah, I love it. Great episode.
Number 10, outrageous.
I knew you'd say that. So
I threw the Galileo 7 in just for Mark D with the C.
Yeah, no, I love it. I mean, it's brilliant. I mean, do any of our friends have any comments on these 2 episode choices? Besides Mark D with the C, of course.
Galileo 7's great. I love seeing Spock in command.
And I know you love Devil in the Dark.
Yeah, those are my top 10 too. Yep.
Yeah, I think we'll have a lot of the same top 10ers there.
Yeah.
Ace,
well, I can join in around 5.
Yeah. Okay, we'll let you. Okay, fair enough. And Mark, Ace, do you have him? I know you didn't make a list or anything, but I mean, you remember all the top best episodes and stuff. Do you remember those 2? Devil in the Dark, Galileo 7?
Yeah, I think I was more partial to Galileo 7, but there are so many great episodes. I think that any true fans would say, when they say it's one of my top 10, that's probably I was going to say 2/3 of the series, but I'd just say 2 seasons of the series. How about that?
Yeah, because both seasons are great, man. Both of those first 2 seasons, dude, they're just unreal. So
I will say that there are no season 3 episodes in my top 10.
hey, there's none of those in my top 25. I'm looking right at it. Not even in my top 25.
I have a couple of honorable mention season 3
There's some
episodes,
okay
though,
ones,
but only for specific plot points or specific points in those episodes that I really loved. But the whole episode as a whole is just, it falls out of the top 25 pretty easy.
Mark D, do you have a 10?
I'm working on it right now, but I will
you
give
don't
me
have
like 5.
You want to start at 5?
I'm
I'll
just
just let you list yours after we do these things.
Yeah, do the. Then I'll,
okay.
I'm going through my list and because it's so tough to do too.
That's
There's
cool.
so many
Go
awesome.
ahead, take your time at it, brother. Take your time. You do it later. So 9. Your 9 was Galileo 7, right, LT?
Yeah, I love seeing Spock in command. I love seeing him, especially that climax at the end where he makes that emotional decision to jettison the fuel and ignite it to send up a flare. That is just so unlike Spock, but it's so like Spock because it's a logical, illogical decision. That's what's so awesome. And then that whole situation where he's got these humans, they're all making all these illogical decisions and they're all pushing him and pushing him and pushing him because, they're used to their command level officers being human. And he is this, not emotionless, but cold, logical being. And he's trying to do this from a logical perspective. And the learning curve, see, that's the hero's journey. That whole episode was a great journey where Spock becomes a great potential captain just because of that episode, because he sees that logic is not the end all and be all of everything. And it's great.
Logic is the beginning of wisdom.
There you go.
Right.
That's good.
I love it. Eric K, brother, the Bronze Wrencher's here. Good to see you there, bro.
Eric K, good to see you, brother.
All right, buddy. Thank you, man. Good for being here, man.
Just to comment, because that's one of my favorite episodes too. LT, you said it so well, but and Spock can't understand why his logic's not working. So that's what's the beauty of the episode is learning to accept his human side and growing in command. Like I can't understand. I've done everything logically. Why is it not working? So and of course it's such a quotable episode too. There's so many fantastic quotes in that.
Oh yeah.
And then Scotty gets his moment, with draining the phasers into the, getting the ship going, and that great scene where he's electrifying the outer hull, and there's just so many great scenes in that episode, and just the creatures are pretty scary still to this day, and it's just great survival. It's actually based on a movie. I'm trying to remember the name of the movie, but where a plane crash where there's just survivors get attacked. That's my number one episode. I think that episode.
You already gave away the ghost there with your number one.
I gave away the ghost, but
great choice.
That's your number one.
Talking about. That's my number one. Yeah, that's my go-to. Right, if I want a happy Star Trek place, I got to watch an episode of TOS. More often than not, I just go to that episode. So, as maybe it's not the greatest. Like Sitting on the Edge of Forever, you could argue is a better, better story.
I hear you,
but
man.
It's like if I want to pop in, if I'm feeling down and I need something good, and I don't want to go to Tinder, so someone's going to nuke that bot. I pop that episode in, and boom.
I'm not even watching the chat, or else I would take care of that.
This person doesn't like Tinder. The bot says F Tinder.
Oh, F Tinder. Okay.
That might not be negative. Maybe that's a positive.
I think
it's been bouncing around a lot lately.
I think it's trying to help. The bots are just trying to help everybody. Be nice. No, I'm just kidding.
I have the tiniest channel in the world, and I had 4 bots.
We had a bunch of bots yesterday on your channel. Yeah. So I love Galileo 7. I love the bit at the end where Kirk says, "So I see." So you reasoned that it was time for an emotional outburst. I wouldn't exactly put it that way, Captain, but those are essentially the facts. Mr. Spock, you're a very stubborn man.
But you know what that highlights, Clobby? That's why you do this show. You do such a great job, because what you just highlighted there was why I love the original series so much. It's those end scenes. It's the camaraderie of a crew, but it's not hugging and crying in hallways.
Crying in hallways, no.
It's about a respect that they have. They're all military officers. There's the decorum there. There's the professionalism, but there's a chance that you have those moments in time, and as a soldier and Ace Cast Iron, you know what I mean. You have that brotherhood where, you're yes sir, no sir, you do your job, but there are moments when you're a brotherhood where you look after each other, you bleed, you cry together, but you don't do it in hallways. It's an opportunity to kind of give them a hard time and say, you're the XO, but you know what? You're just a regular guy like the rest of us. And I think that really cements that leadership quality that Spock has, that really brought home how great a first officer he actually is. And I think that it also highlighted the respect that the senior staff has for this half Vulcan, half human man on the bridge, because he's very unapproachable most times, but this was an opportunity to see that, you know what, he's still human as well. And I love that part of the episode. That's really why, one of the main reasons why it makes my top 10 is that the last 5 minutes of the well, actually, I would say the last 15 minutes of the episode are among the best science fiction in science fiction today.
Yeah, and I think to your point, when you think about it, I think that shows Roddenberry's fingerprints all over that aspect when it comes to the process, the leadership qualities, the decision making, and then also a little bit of the camaraderie. And I think that, you know, if you look at the, you know, some of the later series, I think it's lost a lot of that. I don't know that I felt that there was that much of a solid structure in Next Gen as there was in the original series. But, you know, I think Enterprise, to some degree, had a little bit of that. And maybe it was, you know, the wagon in space, you know, and I think there's a little bit of more of a frontier in both Enterprise and original series rather than, you know, a hotel in space as we kind of see later.
Yeah, some of the best parts on Enterprise is when they show how the technology is a little bit more primitive than how it is on TOS.
Yes.
Like the grappling hook for the
right, no tractor beams.
Tractor beam.
Exactly, grapplers, no shields yet. Yeah, that kind of
just
stuff.
hull plating or whatever. Yep.
My so that was your number 9. Then also Galileo was your number 9. LT. My number 9 is Court Martial.
Oh.
I just watched that one today.
Oh, really? I can never get enough of it. It's just a beautiful,
that's an honorable mention for me. Yeah,
it's a beautiful episode. Yeah, I just totally love it. Again, Kirk, you know what's going on with Kirk in that episode. Even he doubts himself because of the falsified evidence against him, and Spock never gives up on him. And
I identify with that totally in my current circumstances.
I tell you, it's again, Star Trek does that, doesn't it? It always touches us when we don't. Well, real Trek, not fake filth, but yeah, always manages to do that. What is your number 8, LT?
Journey to Babel.
We got a tie. My number 8 is also Journey to Babel.
Oh, nice. That is just an unbelievably awesome episode. I do have an honorable mention to Balance of Terror, because what can I say about the acting talents of this man? Even in the Next Generation episodes, we got to see the great talent of Mark Leonard. He really pulls that episode. Even though you have the stars, right? You have Kirk and Spock. It's hit whenever there's something significant to happen. He's involved. Whether it's the surgery in sickbay, whether it's the incident in the conference room where you have the Andorians and the Tellarites, you know, arguing, and it's just it's such a great episode.
It really through and through. One of the never get tired of it. Love it. I love all the stuff, interaction between them, but there's also some great Kirk in it too. When he, you know, the big fight with the Andorian, and then later when he tricks the Orions who are attacking.
That shows his tactical acumen there. Yeah, absolutely.
Oh man, I truly love that one. Number
all right. And I love it. I love at the end where the Romulan says that in another life they could have been friends.
Yep. Oh yes.
Oh, no, you're thinking of Balance of Terror.
Balance of Terror. Yeah.
Well, that's what. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Well, that was my honorable mention because of Mark Leonard. I threw those in because I love Journey to Babel. It's my number 8, but Balance of Terror is my number 11. It's kind of because
another foul. Sorry, go ahead. I'm just kidding. Go ahead, bud.
Because I love the acting talents of Mark Leonard. I think he really you're right. In another universe we could have been friends and
could have called you friend.
But you know, when we're talking about this episode too, there's an opportunity to see how the military chain of command works. We get to see that Spock is obviously not as talented as Kirk when it comes to tactics and strategy on the battlefield. the reason why Kirk is a 34-year-old captain is because of his talents at the helm and in the captain's chair. So when you remove him from the situation with a overpowered ship that seems to outmatch you, the whole how the chain of command works on a naval vessel is so important, right? And when you remove a key piece of that because he gets stabbed and he's in sick bay, you get to see that Spock obviously doesn't match him for those talents, but he also needed to deal with his father and family, and there's a whole bunch of stuff here. There's so much going on, but yet the story is so tight, and that's why I love that one. It's just
And we
great
get to learn Spock
storytelling.
has a teddy bear.
A teddy bear.
With
A sellout.
fangs.
Yeah,
a lot of
sellout.
sellout. Yeah, they're alive and have 6-inch fangs. What's
Oh,
your
well,
number
they got to
7?
add. Oh, I
Go
got to add
go
to
ahead.
Journey to Babel. That's well, I'm working on my list. I'll give you my top 10 later. But I picked number 11 right now. I don't want to foul, but I got to go through all the episodes
Another
in
foul.
depth.
So, just kidding.
But as our go-to drinking game episodes, it's logic. I'm sick to death of your logic. So we never want to play the Star Trek
Poor
drinking game.
Amanda.
Journey to Babel was our go-to.
That
It's
is
like,
the
ready
one and
up,
only
guys.
Amanda too, right? She will always be the one and only Amanda.
Well, yeah.
yeah.
This is we're only talking real Trek here, of course. So, what's your number 7, bud?
Did you give us your number 8? What
The
was
same
your-
as yours, Jen.
Oh yeah, okay. There you go. My number 7 is The Trouble with Tribbles.
Wow, that's way up
Triple
there.
time.
Yep.
Okay.
It's a
wrong with
great
that.
episode. It's a lot of humor though for Star Trek. I like my humor in small increments, not a whole episode with fuzzy things running around, but there are individual scenes that are among the best in the original series, if not all of Star Trek. The whole bar scene, the whole dressing down that we get to also see in Trials and Tribulations. in
Yeah,
Deep
that
Space
was great.
I
Nine.
love that.
That's like, and Scotty, the whole interplay between Scotty and Kirk is just,
That
I
is
have been
fantastic.
on both ends of that. I have been on both ends of that as an officer and also as the guy who was a young cadet, was officer cadet that was, maybe had a little bit too much to drink, right? And so it's just every time. So Mark, you mentioned every time you want to relax and enjoy Star Trek, you put on the Galileo 7. That whole scene, because I'm like, yeah, I get both sides of it, right?
It is a relaxing episode, yeah.
And then when Scotty goes, "Thank you, sir, I could catch up on my journals," and I was like, "Yeah, right."
The journals.
So yeah, it's it's a great episode.
Yeah.
Laddie, don't you think you should rephrase that?
Rephrase
You're right.
that.
I should. I didn't mean to say that the Enterprise should be hauling garbage. I meant to say that it should be hauled away as garbage. It's one of the greatest.
Good night to Eric K.
Eric K. said, "Hi, brother. Good to see you,
Hi,
buddy. I
Eric.
know you're busy, man, out there. I'm just glad to hear from you, man. I hope you're doing well, Bronze Wrencher. And be good, my friend. Be well.
And-
be well.
And the
Always-
Tribbles episode is in my top 10 too. I
always
didn't
really
add-
enjoyed that type of stuff where Scotty is
That music.
basically defending the Enterprise.
Yes, they called the Enterprise a garbage scow, sir. Then you hit the Klingons because they insulted the Enterprise, not because they. Well, sir, this was a matter of pride.
Well, in Star Trek 3, you knew that when Styles says, Captain Scott, looking forward to breaking.
The Enterprise is speed records tomorrow, huh? No, I think you froze up there, dude.
Oh.
Could be a camera freeze. There you go.
Hopefully he's back. Yep. Well, while we're waiting for Ace, it's Pleasant Valley Picker's birthday tomorrow.
There you go.
so
You're back now, buddy.
happy
happy
birthday
birthday.
to Pleasant
Happy
Valley
birthday.
Picker.
Oh, happy birthday, Pleasant Valley Picker. You have the same birthday as Doomcock.
And then, happy birthday. Oh, by the way, yesterday was Doomcock's birthday. Or today's his birthday, right?
It's tomorrow, actually.
Tomorrow.
but
Okay,
it was
well,
yesterday was the celebration.
Okay. Well, happy birthday to my dear buddy Doomcock. I love you, bro, out there. The great DC. And speaking of that,
Leave out of one. Surely that.
Had a weep out of shore leave.
but Dr. McCoy pulled me through. So my number 7 is, I think Ace will like this, Space Seed.
That's my number 5.
That's
I
fantastic.
love it.
Classic. Yep.
And why do you wear your hair in such an unattractive position? How many minutes do you go graciously offer? I love it.
And that's something I know we're not going to talk about trash Trek, but
The
that's
boot
something that
up.
really breaks canon too. But I love Space Seed. It's my number 5. Yeah.
Greatness. Hey, Ace, you're I'm not hearing you, man. There's something up to your. Can you hear us? You're not muted. Well, you were. You're not muted now. Say something.
And the chat people can put their top 5 episodes.
Sure.
Oh, that's a good idea, actually.
Great
yeah.
idea, Joe.
I'll start.
Actually,
And join
Poppy
in,
said
everybody.
earlier
Let's get your
was my idea.
top 5s too.
Ace, did
Hey,
something happen?
Cam. Yeah, I don't think I think his volume's not.
He jumped out. Now jump back in and see. If he
Hello,
reboot,
Cam.
comes in and comes back out, well, shoot, it might work. Sometimes if you jump back out and jump back in,
Yeah,
it'll
go
work
back
there.
in.
So that was number 7, right?
Well,
Yeah. What's your number
it's
6?
my number. It's my number
Number 6.
5. So why don't I just mention?
Go ahead. And tell
So
me your
this
6.
one.
Oh no, go ahead.
Well,
No,
yeah,
go
I
ahead.
might as well just mention my number 5 now, and then because it's
Okay.
Space Seed.
Are we on?
I
5?
think. Yep. Well, no, number 7, but it's my number 5. But I mean, you're talking about it now, right? And so I think that it's a massive chess match between Khan and Kirk. I think that he really doesn't reveal how advanced he is, how smart he is until the end when he tries to take over the Enterprise. But Kirk is also a genius. He's right on level, even though he's not genetically engineered. I think he's a match for Khan. That's what makes Khan such a ultimate nemesis of Kirk, right? Because they're so evenly matched, even though, of course, Khan is physically more powerful. But Ricardo Montalban is just such an unbelievable actor that he makes the perfect villain. And when we say villain in Star Trek, there's no real villains, right? There's antagonists and protagonists, and he makes a perfect antagonist. He's looking after his people. He wants them to be successful. He and to survive in the 23rd century. So it's just such a great chess match episode.
Yes.
I love it, and I love all of the side parts because it's not just McCoy and Kirk and Spock, but it's a lot of all the other parts that were part of this too that make this such a fine episode. We got to see some of the actors that really don't get a chance to shine really shine in this episode.
Ace,
I got to see how many.
You hearing you now?
Oh yeah.
Okay, good. Gotcha.
I got to see how many action figures I can add as you name episodes.
Yeah.
I need.
Oh, you got to
I
name one
need
for every episode?
Mr. Spock.
To my stream.
Mind melting with the hoarder.
You're an excellent tactician, Captain.
You are an
let
excellent
your second in
tactician.
command attack while you sit and watch for weakness.
You have a tendency to express things in military terms, Mr. Khan. This is a social occasion.
Some say social occasion is only warfare concealed.
Yes. Others prefer it more open, more honest. Banana Moss, what's up, buddy? And Cam, what's up, dude? Long time.
Everyone, yeah.
Keely Chow, Roll Tide. Hello there, Keely Chow. And by the way, when I say Roll Tide, you know it's insincere because we're Tiger fans down here. So, but he knows that. The lovely Sherry, beautiful lady, good to see you. What a wonderful crowd we got here tonight. All right. Let's see here. Okay, where were we at now? That was well, what is your number 6? LT.
Not number 2, number 6.
Yeah, well,
number 6. I order you to take a number 2.
But someone was before we finished the discussion of Space Seed, someone was supposed to bang their hand on the table saying, "We offer the world order."
Order.
We offer the world order.
Excellent.
Yeah, I love that scene. Excellent. Excellent. Zan Zoltan. Hello there. Good to see you, buddy.
These are the greatest quotable science fiction shows of all time, man. So the quotes, we all go back and we can off by heart. We can talk about them off by heart. We could almost probably put on an episode and just we wouldn't even need to review it.
Read an episode.
Oh, absolutely.
We could fill in
Monkey
the
Jeebus.
words.
That's true. Oh, I know them all backwards and forwards at this point. Monkey Jeebus, good to see you there. So what was now, Thoth, what's the deal? You skipped one, or are we going to go to your number 6?
Are we at
now?
number 6, right?
Yes, because you jumped up to we both did 7 and Spacey. This my 7 and your 5. So
Right.
I'm duly embarrassed. So go for number 6.
You want me to? Okay. My number 6 is Arenas.
Captain Kirk. Love it. Well done. Oh my good. He tasks me and I shall have him. Yeah. So there you go, dude. Arena's a great one, man.
Yeah, it's an episode that it's fun. It's a situation that should never happen. You've got this super high tech, high powerful alien race that captures these two captains from completely
Metros.
different ships. You throw them on the planet and say, "Fight to the death!" Right? It's like
Yes.
it's like a gladiatorial contest with a guy in a rubber suit and Captain Kirk showing how smart he is by creating a weapon that he should have never been able to create, right? And but
he's
it's
Kirk,
showing
he can
his
get away.
tactics. It's showing that he's the underdog in this because he's got this big lizard creature who's tough and strong and can rip you apart, but moves slow. But yet Kirk outthinks him, even though the Gorn is smart too. And we see that because when he traps Kirk, right? And it's a good, and it's another one of those chess match episodes. It's an alien race we've never seen before. We don't know what they're like. We don't
Unless you
know
watch
how they
Strange New
think.
Worms.
Yeah, and that's what's so great.
Unfortunately, yeah.
And do you know what I love? One of the things I love most about this episode is that the Federation was at fault. They were in the wrong. And at the end, Kirk showing compassion and sparing his life. Wow. On the battlefield, how often as a soldier are you told, yeah, okay, when you get into a situation like that, yeah, spare his life.
Yes,
It's
exactly. That's my favorite too.
Yeah, it's elite.
That's why Arena is my number 2.
Nice.
Because
way up there, huh?
you see you spend the whole time worrying if Kirk's going to survive, and like you said, it's fun to see him create the gunpowder and the cannon. But then, of course, at the end, Kirk chooses life when he refuses to kill the Gorn captain.
Great episode. Gorn looked like, I say, with Monkey Jeep, it's good to see you there, by the way, buddy. Welcome. He says Gorn looked like a Sleestack. I say more like the Sleestack looked like Gorn, but.
But
It
of
was
course,
very
I
Doctor
made
Who
my
kinda.
list under duress, so these my top
That's
5
okay.
tonight could change.
You're good. What's that, Ace?
And you know that was a big green lizard suit, but as a kid, that shit scared me like Doctor Who monsters. Even though if it was paper mache, it still scared me.
Yes.
That voice,
yeah.
right?
Oh, that's scary. The slowness of the Gorn was actually really scary too. So that was, and Enterprise they sped up the Gorn, which I didn't like, and did some CGI and tried to
Yeah, I
make it
hated
more.
that.
But I think that was something.
Yeah, it made them dinosaurs.
Yeah, that was
That was
something
on the
so
Mirror
scary
Darkly
about.
one.
Yeah, it was such a scary thing to have that creature because you always have those nightmares where you're being chased, and hopefully Doctor Strange is not true, and there's not another Mark in another universe having that dream where you can't get away and you can't. You're just going slow, and as fast as you try to run, you're going slowly, and there's like a creature like the Gorn, chasing you.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, here we go. Just for you, Toxic Man Flu for $10 super chat says, "Cannot stay. Love to you all. Break out the Clobberin." Well, we got a special. This is just for you. I know Raquel's one of your favorite people. I know you love the Clobberin. Courtesy of our great chief engineer. Everyone, since Raquel couldn't be here tonight, we have a little part right now of her brilliance. Here you go.
Crap.
Yes, that's awesome. I love that.
so just for
I
you,
can't
get
wait
an
to use that for the episode.
animated Clobberin. Yep.
Yeah, this is for you,
Hungry
Chief.
boy for drawing that.
Yes, thanks to the great Hungry Boy for that. I don't think he could be here tonight either. But hey, TMF, thank you, buddy. Appreciate
Take
it.
care, man.
But that was fun to learn to animate something. So pretty simple, but
Pleasant
that
Valley
was fun.
Picker.
You did great.
Did you? I'll give you that. I'll tell you. I'll give you the go ahead in just a minute here. We'll get through these, and then we'll read off your favorite top episode, top 5s.
It'll be more fun seeing everybody in the chat's top 5. To be
Absolutely.
honest,
Where are we at? It's 5. We'll get
I think
to
we're
this
at
quicker,
6.
and we'll do that.
Oh,
I'm at
yeah.
5.
What was your 6, Clubby?
No, I'm at 6. My 6 is Balance of Terror.
Ah, that's a good one. And that was
yeah.
my honorable mention. Was number 11.
The Enemy Below. Just wow, too much. Again, I won't go too deep in it. We've already done a big mass review of it here on the channel back when Raquel and I did it. So just suffice to say, if it's that high up, I love it. Now, where are we at? Where did you do 5? Yeah,
If I can just say one thing about that episode, that's an opportunity to see how difficult it would be to face an alien race that you know nothing about, that are willing to throw their own troops out into space, the dead troops out into space, in order to try to fool you into thinking that they're destroyed. Like the whole cold, logical use of that kind of resources was just so amazing. And Mark Leonard was just the perfect Romulan commander. Do you know that episode is one of the singular reasons why the Romulans are one of the most favorite alien race in Star Trek history? Mark Leonard and his crew were the reason for that. Like, we get the Enterprise incident later on where we get to see a female Romulan stuff, but it's in a kind of a romantic-y, kind of silly kind of episode.
Centurion.
But that Balance of Terror episode really cemented them as one of the greatest alien races in Star Trek history.
Oh, God, they're amazing. Scotty, good to see you there, sir.
Hello to Scotty, and
Hey,
good
Scotty.
night to Mr. Angel, who will be switching to listening mode only.
Okay, Mr. Angel, Chef, good to see you there, brother. We really appreciate you. Hope you're feeling better, my friend, doing better. And it's great to have you here way, way, way on the other side of the world. It's probably like, I don't know, it's probably like 7 in the morning over there, 6 in the morning, whatever. So thank you, buddy. And TMF, thanks again for that, bro. We appreciate you. I know you had to run. Always a pleasure. He's a good friend of the show there.
So my 5 was Space Seed. What was yours, Clobby?
My 5 is the Doomsday Machine.
Oh
man, Decker.
What are my 3 A pluses?
It's an A plus for me. I mean, it's a true masterpiece in my opinion. From every single solitary second, and what a great guest performance by the amazing William Wyndham as Decker. That music, which I still believe John Williams copped for Jaws. Boom, 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 boom.
Yeah, that episode was the right way to show some mental instability.
Right. You had a Starfleet officer. You could, understand why he was going through it. It was going through it, stuff like that. And just you all know. We don't have to dwell on it. You all know Doomsday Machine. It is absolute greatness. What is your number 4, buddy?
Wait,
number 4.
I actually was able to join in at 5.
You got 5? Go for it, Jill. And
go for it, Jill.
Anybody else who has a 5 on down can do it if you want.
Okay, so my list might change, but right now my number 5 is Ultimate Computer because
I love
it. It's a classic concept of what happens when technology threatens to take over what our jobs and I love that idea. I love the advancement of artificial intelligence, but prefer that we still play a big role in using it. And so I'm happy that Captain Kirk wins that one. So that's my number 5.
I love that episode. I got it.
I'll join it at 5 too, buddy, if you want.
Please do.
Conscience of the King.
Oh, wow. There you go. That's a great episode.
I don't know what it is, but and you and I have talked about this before, is that if you grew up watching reruns of the original series and you weren't alive when it first came out, you were already close to or about to be exposed to Next Generation, depending on how old you were. And I watched Next Gen when it first came out and became more familiar with that. But there was something about episodes like Conscience of the King that built the universe around which the Enterprise was set in. And I always loved those episodes that gave us some kind of glimpse of some of these colonies that we're not landing on and seeing these different cultures, how they operated, but yet how the whole the whole lexicon of what was going on in the galaxy during that period, 60, 70 years around Kirk, and and to me that's almost like a relevant concept for a leader of a colony to have to make difficult decisions and sometimes be brutal about it and have to deal with those decisions. And it was wrapped around this Shakespearean idea, which is also pretty amazing considering, the death struggles that occur in a lot of these Shakespeare plays. I mean, there's a lot. I felt like there was a lot of Macbeth there. There was a lot of Julius Caesar, and I had and there was a respect I felt like Kirk had for Kodos, and it's something that it's familiar to me with the same kind of respect that Kirk had for Khan, as like Spock himself. He's shocked that humans could find respect in these brutal totalitarian people, but with Kodos, it was almost like, was he really that bad a person, or he just have to do what he had to do? I felt like it was treated so. I think it was treated so gently, and with. I just thought it was a masterpiece the way it was done.
Top notch. That's one thinking outside the box right there, dude. Absolutely, and it is great. It is a great one.
The weight of authority really weighs you down when you are in charge of a colony of thousands of people, and the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, and you have to sacrifice a few to save everybody else. That decision is just. It's one of those episodes where you deal with those kind of serious issues. Like it's one. How do you deal with that? And that's what's so great about these episodes, where nowadays they write stuff which is just silly stuff, and it's all about the wham bang and explosions and stuff. It's not about looking inside to our own souls and making these decisions. Like, what would happen if you were in that situation? That's what's so good about that episode. It really makes you think.
You're right, Doc. They used to write about characters, and now they write now they create special effects and write something around that.
That's a pure Conscious of the King is a pure character episode. Our last chance to see O'Reilly. By the way, anyone can put your top fives that you in, and I'll get them ready. We'll handle later. So you can go ahead and put them in when you want. I'm watching the chat. So
yeah, JD Lewis has some.
I got it. I started. I will star them.
Great episode.
So, Mark D, you have a 5, or do you want to do a 10?
I'll do my 10 and a couple. I'll just go through. I'll just go real quick when I got them.
Gotcha. All right.
Yep.
So my number 4. But we need your number 4 though, LT. I think. Did we get your number 4 yet? I'm all confused.
No, we haven't. No, Space Seed was my number 5, which we talked about already.
Oh, gotcha.
My number 4 is Amok Time.
We might be hearing from that one. We might be hearing from that one again.
That's my number 4. That is the best Spock episode in the entire series. It's a chance to see Vulcan, which we haven't seen before. We get to see T'Pring, and the shocked expression of every member of the bridge crew was the same expression I had in the early 70s when I first saw it. I was like, "Wait, Spock has a chick?" It was such a refreshing look at the Vulcan culture, the Vulcan people. We got to see the Ang Woong. We got to see the ritual combat. We got to see the death of Kirk and the elation of Spock when he discovers that he's alive, and that interplay between the three of them. And
Jim.
Jim.
Yeah, and that's my number 3, by the way. Just get that out of the way.
That's one of my favorite moments in all of Star Trek, the Jim and the smile.
That episode is my number 3, by the way, so we'll get that out of the way.
I'm just happy that Starfleet has not lost a highly proficient captain.
Yeah, right. But your reaction was completely logical.
Thank you.
That one was probably my 6.
What's that?
That one would probably have been my 6. I really love that episode too.
Yeah, I'm number 3 on that one, but my number 4, of course, being Devil in the Dark. So you've already talked about that. So now you can go to number 3, I guess.
My number 3 is
Jill. Wait, Jill, you want to do 4?
Sorry.
Right, I have a 4. My 4 is Shore Leave, and it's another one that shows us what could be done with technology, even though it's the planet that creates the technology.
Beautiful episode. Love it.
Create robots based on what your thoughts are. Somehow can read your thoughts. And it kind of feels like the first seeds of what holodeck technology, except robots instead of light.
Spot on, yeah.
And
Matthew Pounder.
Fun time.
No, I love it. That's a great. It's, again, all the ones you're naming are at least in my top 25, Jill. So we're not far off. So
I have a fantastic 4 if you want it.
What go for number 4 for you?
And you mentioned this already, but some of these numbers kind of go around depending on where you are in life sometimes. But
sure,
for me, Court Martial lands at 4 simply because You know, I've been dealing with, doing the evil deeds of cursing in the army as an officer. So, and playing a Wesley Willis song. So, yeah. So that episode hits me pretty personally.
Wow.
Because he emotes that shock and that utter, how's this possible? And from my perspective, Kirk always shows almost like he trusts the system so much, and he feels some sort of betrayal because these things are all going against him when he feels like he knows the truth. And so that just really stood out to me as a kid, and it means a lot more to me now as a field grade officer in disgrace. So
my favorite part of that episode is when they get all the heartbeats of the crew and they remove them one by one until they find out that Benny is still on board.
Yeah.
My favorite part of that episode is when Cogley is talking about books. He does that speech.
Books, young man.
And he talks about the Magna Carta and blah, blah. You know, that speech where he's... And
oh, God.
He goes on and on about how that books should never take the place of the heart and soul of people, and that there's technology should never overtake the rights and the privileges of us being human, and the fairness of a fair trial where everybody was so enraptured with the technology and how that the evidence must be, it's unbreakable because you know what, a computer said this, and it's so important, and considering I work in that field of cyber and cybercrime and stuff, and it's funny how it's so difficult to break that habit of relying on technology and just being there for people and having people make those decisions, and it's a great episode.
Yes, the computer. He calls the computer. It's homogenized and pasteurized.
Yeah,
yeah,
I like that.
Yep, I know. Love that episode. So is everybody? Where are we at 3 now? We're at 3 now.
Yes.
LT. 3.
Yeah, mine is City on the Edge of Forever is number 3.
Love it.
The trauma I face every time I watch that episode of seeing somebody you truly love die in front of you, and there's nothing you can do to prevent it. And from my line of work, I've seen it happen a couple of times where somebody you care about or somebody you know very well, that's happened. And I can say this, that the trauma that's caused is, always on your mind and your heart and your soul. It'll always be with you. And Kirk to have to face that, where the woman he loves is true love, and he has to take a step back and not save her for the betterment of humanity and for the galaxy. And but the interplay between them, they had a connection, and that's what's so great about the actors of that time, right? I have to give a great big shout out to 2 great actors who played a love story that had a very Shakespearean ending, and that's what it was. It was a very Shakespearean story of love and loss and moving on, because we know that Captain Kirk's true love was the Enterprise, but this here was the first time he ever thought where it might not be the center seat that drew his heart. And it's so well written. I know that there was a lot of changes from the original author. I'm not going to mention his name, but we know who it was. And
Raquel calls him the boob grabber.
Yeah, that's hilarious. But it's such a fine, and for this to be number 3, my next 2 are pretty huge. But yeah, it's these are my 3 A rating episodes. These are my 3 favorites. Ones coming up.
That's my
well,
number
they had to change it so that would fit in with Star Trek.
Oh, that's true. Yep.
Absolutely.
Because, he wanted to put drugs into it.
Would y'all say that that she was the Kirk companion in the entire series, all movies, everywhere? I don't know that I've ever felt like he had more of a connection. I mean, you could say he had a connection to Carol Marcus, but his connection to her was he did something. He had a kid with her. But I'm talking about that character to me was Kirk's greatest companion.
Yeah, his
a lot of charisma
greatest
between
love
the
of his
2.
life, I think so.
Yeah.
And I like Spock building that computer.
That was
Stone knives and bearskins. We quote that one all the time. Yeah,
that shows how brilliant he is too, right? That not just a scientist but an engineer.
Yeah.
Now you're an engineer.
Well, I was
Yeah.
gonna say there's a ton of charisma between chemistry, a better word, between Collins and Shatner.
Oh,
Obviously,
the
in that
spark,
episode.
eh? Every
Yeah,
time they
you
looked
could
in
tell.
each other's eyes, and I love the old classic Star Trek cinematography too, where they had the every time a beautiful woman was on the screen, they had
It was
the
shiny.
light shone around
Vaseline on the
her.
lens. Yeah, Vaseline on the lens.
It was
yeah.
really bad in season 1, but yeah, I love that part too because it really made you admire her beauty and it's another thing too. There was no of those skimpy Star Trek classic series skimpy outfits either. She
Yeah.
wore the full
Right.
outfit from the period. The
Oh, yeah.
period piece was just so amazing, and that's another thing we've lost where it's not a green screen. They were on the streets. They were filming. There was
Yeah,
cars
right.
going by. It was
The
just
Andy Griffith Show. Yeah.
oh, it was just so real, and that's what
Or
makes it
Mayberry.
so amazing. Is that whole relationship, everything from beginning to end, was so real. It was like you could have been on that journey with them, where you stepped through the Guardian of Forever, you went into the past, and was there with them, you know. And it's
LT, let me
so much better.
look. Pleasant Valley, dude. You can post this anytime you want. This, your input. I will get your chat, but ultimatums. Look, man, we'd love to have you here, but if you think you got to run, that's up to you, man. I mean, we like having you here and everything. And if you, like I said, anyone could put their episodes in right now, and I'll hold them. I'll hold them. But do what you got to do.
Yeah, absolutely. Join in, guys. If you want to post your stuff, post it.
Yeah, I'm watching the chat for anyone who puts one. I'm saving them for after we get done.
Or you're starring them for to talk about it.
I also
Thank
really
you for everyone
love
for posting them. Yep.
Yes, thank you guys.
Yeah. So
we'll get to
else
them
have
in a bit.
three?
Yep.
But wait, I also really love McCoy in this episode. I don't have this episode in my top 5, but I really like seeing his acting, his evolution from being, a little bit crazy from that what he was injected with all the way until he gets back to normal and he's nursed by Edith. And that was it.
Yeah. Well, I love it, and I think that scene that got me the most is the scene when she's confronting Spock about taking the tools. And
it was Cordrazine, wasn't it? I'm trying to remember. Cordrazine?
No, well, that was the drug, yeah. But
yeah, McCoy actually, yeah. Janet was talking about the Cordrazine. Yeah, I'm sorry, Clobby. Go ahead.
No, when she confronts Kirk and Spock about Spock taking the tools, and when she's basically wanting to fire him, he says, if Mr. Spock says that he needs the tools, and they bring him return in the morning, you can bet your reputation on that, Miss Keeler. And she goes, one condition, walk me home, whatever. Yes, I have questions. Oh, don't give me that little look about it. Questions about little old Les look. And Spock says, I'll finish with the furnace. And he stops. And she goes, Captain. Even when he doesn't say it, it does. That scene is just. And she says, you know as well as I do how out of place you two are here. Interesting. Where do you estimate we belong, Miss Keeler?
Phantom Outsider brings a really interesting point up that Edith didn't have to die if they took her to the future. She would have been safe as she wouldn't influence the events.
Well,
yeah, but what if she had kids or something and then influenced the future? I mean, yes, I agree.
I'm thinking more along the lines of if she goes missing, it's different than if she's found dead.
We don't know that the Guardian would have taken her back third time.
And yeah, that's true.
Yeah, what
if
she was rescued and she was pregnant with Kurt's kid?
We don't know what impact her being missing would have made on the timeline.
We don't know that the Guardian would have taken her back through time. The
Guardian. Well, that's an interesting point to talk about, though. I agree. Yep.
Yeah. Anyway,
it's an interesting discussion about the butterfly effect, right?
Yeah, because doesn't the Guardian say, "Well, time has now been
restored"?
I'm forgetting the quote, but time has now been restored, and things are as they were. So that was that. It's almost like the Guardian sent them back to let them put the timeline back in order when he didn't really have to either, which is an interesting characteristic of the Guardian when you think about it.
Phantom Outsider, that is a very good point.
Well, there you go.
Considering if you watched Picard season 2, where
why would you?
Where all of the crew changes like 5,000 different things just by walking down the street. Like this is they kept it under semi control, but yeah, it's just What about that? What about that? Like, there's so many things that they screwed up in Picard season 2 that just broke the timeline. If we're talking butterflies, that was more like a tsunami on the timeline.
Oh yeah, so trash. Anyway, it's just a trashy show. So
Look, if you're
why
gonna
not?
make him an android, let him not be like this decrepit old man. Ooh, ooh.
Right? I want to be
I
young
used to have a
Picard again.
ship named Nimrod.
Yeah, I don't want to. Yeah, we don't want to
There are
mention
4
it,
lights.
but yeah, the evil Picard would have picked a young body anyway.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or at least give me some hair, man.
Peace off.
Come on, man. I
With
want
some
hair.
eyebrows or something. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. No, he wanted to be exactly the same because that's what we all dream of, being a 120-year-old pea hard.
Make me an old robot.
Who was
Who has trouble peeking too?
of course.
So you're on number 3, right? We're on number 3 right now.
3, yes. Jill, did you have a 3? Or did you already
Yes,
do
my
3?
number 3 is Mirror Mirror. Just seeing the dystopia of an alternate universe amplifies how important the utopia of Star Trek is, and I like seeing how it has an effect on Mirror Spock that he takes back to his universe.
Well, we might hear from it again then. I mean, let's see. Ace?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Mirror Mirror. There's the top 5 are so hard because it's dependent on, I guess, where I am in life, of where I would place some of these. But Mirror Mirror is just a classic. Whether you're talking the plot itself, whether you talk about the costumes, some of the great differences between the Mirror characters and the characters we've come to love, and just some of the, that last scene between Kirk and the Mirror Spock, when he says, in every revolution, there's one man.
One man, one vision. Well,
Be that man, Mr. Spock.
You know it's my all-time favorite. You know my number one.
And it's sad because I think that there was so much potential with the Mirror universe, and I think it's kind of gone off the rails in some of the directions that it's gone in all of Trek. But I think that was a seminal episode, and I always wondered as a kid what was going on that ship while they were in the Mirror universe. What kind of chaos was occurring while our heroes were, even more than what they showed. In other words, I thought they would. I was like, here they are in this Mirror universe. What the hell do they think is going on? Because we see that Mirror Kirk is a nut. So I was told, always been intrigued by that episode. I know everyone has been. I just, on every level, from the way it looked, the stark differences in the culture, just really amazing to me.
And I agree with Matthew Pounder, who says Spock looks better with the beard.
Even character. Well, I love it. Well, you know how much I love it. It's easy. Spoiler alert, my number 1. But my number 3 is a mock time. We've already talked about it. It is an absolute masterpiece. Well, all these in my top. To me, the whole top 10 is. But yeah, not much to say. It's all been said. Love it, love it. So LT, number 2.
Well, my number 2 is the Doomsday Machine, and I know we've talked about it a bit. I just wanted to say that the reflection of a man in command with post-traumatic stress who's ordered his crew to their deaths, and there was nothing he could do about it. It's just the haunted expression, the looks, the madness, the willing to sacrifice himself in the end. This is just... I love this episode. It's always in my top 3 are usually my top 3, but this one, I know it doesn't really make a lot of top 5s because of it's more of a space battle episode where there's a lot of fighting and shooting and running away and stuff. But it goes to show you how difficult it is to be in command of a starship in the future, where 430 plus people are live and die at your command, and he could see this menace and what it was going to do. It was going to go through some of the most civilized parts of the Federation, and he felt so helpless. So he was willing to throw himself on the walls of the castle in order to try to stop it. But he had the right idea, and that's where his strategic and tactical acumen came to the forefront, where he sacrificed himself to try to destroy this machine in a last-ditch attempt, which gave Spock and Kirk the idea to, okay, we need to get this Constitution class starship and blow up the engines, and hopefully that'll stop it. And it's like it's so much drama from the beginning to the end, where it's go 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 go. It's just a thrill ride, and that's what I love about this episode, because and in a lot of Star Trek classic episodes, it's a lot of talking and a lot of thinking and a lot of great writing. But this was action. This was an action-packed episode, and I love it. And the reflection of a man with PTSD, take it from one who knows, it is that haunted expression. It does break you. It does, and some people never recover from it, and that takes years and years of trying to get through it, getting help. So it's a great call to those out there who need that extra person to talk to, and take this as a reflection that self-destruction is a quick jaunt away from what he went through. So if you get help, if you have someone there to help you, or there's numbers you can call, there's people that can help, and they're there to help you. And unfortunately, he never got that help, because they could never imagine that a Commodore, a captain of a Constitution class starship, would crack. And that's what happened. So everybody is vulnerable to that, and no one is invulnerable. And it's a great reflection for Kirk, because he gets to see how this man is broken, but yet even through all of that, he stays strong right through till the end in Star Trek Generations. Right, no matter what he's seen, he stayed strong through all those years. But he did that. Why? Because he had Spock, he had McCoy, he had his crew, the loyalty, and the people that were there for him. That's what really, it was family. And you need family to get through these things. And unfortunately, Decker, all his family were transported down to the planet that was destroyed by the Doomsday Machine.
Well, I hear you, man. Love it.
Well,
Great episode.
Yeah, these are my favorite lines in that show, when they're tragic lines, but when he says, there's no devil, Jim, but there is, right out of hell. I saw it. And then Kirk, asks him, where's your crew? And he says, on the third planet. And he's like, Kirk's like, there is no third planet. It's like, and he breaks down, he says, don't you think I know that?
But not anymore.
And that performance just is so gut wrenching. And then, there's a lighthearted story about this in college, when we'd watch Star Trek every night at midnight, and we'd play Guess the Episode. It was on WPIX in 11 out of New York City. So that was our study break at midnight. And one night the fire alarm goes off, and the RA comes in, and it was like there's like 5 minutes left in the Doomsday Machine. And he's like, you got to leave, Mark. He's looking at my room. It was covered in Star Trek posters, Star Trek junk, which is no surprise, right? And he's like, how many times have you seen this episode? He's like, I'm going to write you up if you don't leave. I'm like, Tom, screw you. He's like, I'm never leaving until the Doomsday episode is over. Just to write me up if you want. I'm not leaving. And he looked at me, and he's like, oh. Yeah. Like, you're crazy. We had like Star Trek posters on the ceilings and, everywhere, and all the Star Trek stuff. I'm like, it was very popular with the ladies too, our room. Yeah, just want to add that. And, I'm like, no way. So we're like, you're not dissing me. There's no Doomsday diss. I'm not leaving till it's over. I mean, just such a great episode, and that's one of the few ones where the remaster, I think, really makes a nice difference. As much as the original effects are great, it really adds a lot to the episode, I think, to have those better visuals. I mean, as great as the performances are, but it's really well done. And that sacrifice is just hits you home. And even though the Doomsday Machine was basically a paper mache windsock, it works. I mean, you can picture that, eating planets. So yeah, and Phantom said, and the Honeymooners was on after. Yep. I woke up, we were mad when Seinfeld took over at midnight. Oh, I was so angry. He put Seinfeld on, but yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Hey,
Yep.
Comic Relief Crusader, good to see you. Go for it.
I got a good question about that episode. Sure. Would everyone say that the only time we ever saw Kirk like that was in Star Trek 3?
Like what?
When you Klingons, you've killed my bastard.
Angry, you mean, or
when he's emotional, he feels
emotional,
like
yeah.
Just that, I think that I would say that's probably the only time that I can recall that deep of emotion, where he turns around from his chair and he's facing the ground, and they go up to him, and he puts his hand up, he regathers himself, and he's back at it.
Oh, in Trek 3, yeah, but what you talking about? Like, what episode we're talking about now? On Doomsday Machine?
Doomsday Machine. Yep.
You thought he was pretty upset. I mean, he was pissed off.
I think in the whole series, that's the most you've ever seen Kirk get close to where Decker was.
Yeah, I think so. I think the death of his son almost broke him. That almost broke him.
That's true.
You see him fall off the chair, and he's like,
yeah.
"You Klingon bastard! You've killed my son." And you see the haunted look in his eyes, and yeah, I think you're right. I think that's probably the closest, because even the situation in Star Trek 2 where he goes, "Gone," that was all an act. Yeah, because he knew the Enterprise was coming around and was going to beam them up. So, but I think 3. Yeah, you're right. I think you're spot on. It was close.
Pleasant, your comments are getting noticed. I'm starring and saving all the comments for the list, dude.
And good night to the Comic Relief Crusader.
Good to see you there, buddy.
Of course, we don't hate Pleasant Valley.
No, but we're gonna get to you, man.
Yep,
we're gonna get to you. So, Jill, number 2.
Number two. We already talked about my number 2 is Arena. Because of everything we already mentioned.
Okay. Are you going to do your Gorn tonight, Clobby, or your voice is still low? Did you do it?
That's why his voice is so choppy there.
But Mark didn't get to hear it.
Are you going to actually sit there and say you didn't hear it last time just to goad me into doing it again and maybe what's even worse? Dude, why do you always do this to me?
That's all right.
Engineers, they love to change things.
Yeah.
But no, I'm just kidding. Yeah, I've done it enough for one night. Ugh. And no one wants to hear that again. Ace, number 2.
It was said already, but Balance of Terror. I just did. It was another one of those instances where I found myself fascinated. I always felt like I was more fascinated with the Romulans than I was the Klingons. I just thought that they had a decency and honor about their pursuits, whether they were diabolical or not. Didn't matter to me. I thought that I found myself so intrigued at that point. Now, granted, I was at a different age when I first saw that. I was a kid, but I was watching it in reruns, but I just, the fact that there was a resemblance to the Vulcans, we didn't know the whole backstory there. I think that gets fleshed out pretty decently as we go in Next Generation and Spock's appearances there. But I think that was and look, there was a similarity in those ships as well. I mean, I always loved that Romulan vessel design of that era rather than the ones that were closest to what the Klingon D7s or D9s.
But they just use the D7s.
Yeah.
But that same model, yeah.
Yeah, but I just think that it was a masterpiece. I think there was something about the spoken word in that episode, and there's a lot of those. But that for me was there was a definitive feeling in that Romulan crew of loyalty and respect and courage, and when he would say Centurion, and it's just the way they spoke to each other. I just thought that episode was it felt like the best submarine movie I ever watched or show I've ever watched besides Hunt for Red October. That's just how I felt.
Yes.
Yes,
it was based on a submarine film, as we've mentioned before. The Enemy Below.
Yeah.
The Enemy Below, yeah.
And then what makes that episode work so well too, like you just said, is the military aspect of which I love, and the respect. And we're not talking about the other stuff, but that's it's part of what's sorely lacking in that is like the chain of command and the respect, and that you don't deal with. I've never been in the military, but I know, just from working with people, you just don't. There's if you have a boss that's way up, there's a different way of dealing with them versus someone that's at your level or below. So it's you just have the respect, and it just adds that gravitas to the episodes when you Kirk is in charge. That Romulan commander, he's in charge. Everyone respects him. And Mark Lenard's acting, of course, is so wonderful in that too. But that's why you feel for those characters, what happens, and you almost feel bad for even though they're supposed to be quote unquote the bad guys or the Russians or the commies or what but that's the brilliant thing about that episode too, is you could imagine that as any enemy, and then understanding that enemy, and understanding where they're coming from, and maybe some people are just they're in the military and they're doing their duty. So it's just so many great facets to that episode. And you're right, yeah, that ship is just so cool. And I think it was just a budget. I think the model got thrown away, or
I think they used the model without permission. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Like that Romulan ship, they used it without permission, and then there was a whole bunch of stuff that was backdoor, kind of dealing with it. And then they just said, well, let's just use the Klingon ships and just throw a line in to say, we bought them from the Klingons, kind of thing. And yeah, it's too bad because I love that Romulan bird of prey. That is just that's such a great classic sci-fi ship. Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Well, it's what's funny is if in Wrath of Khan they turned Reliant upside down. Had they turned it right side up, it looked a little bit like the bird of prey.
Yeah.
Yep. You're right. Yep.
Good night in the chat to Raymond Feliciano.
All right, Raymond. Good night, buddy.
Take care, Raymond.
Thanks for being here, man.
We can't even do a dolphin voice like Raquel. I can't.
No. My number 2 has talked enough about it.
No, I can't.
That sounds like Raquel right there, though. Sitting on the edge forever. Don't need to talk anymore. We all know it. Well, that's my number 2. Okay, LT, you're number 1.
The sad thing about this list is we all have to come back down to number 1, and it's hard to. There's so many great episodes. There's the Menagerie. There's anyway. Without getting into the honorable mentions, like there's so many amazing episodes, especially in the first 2 seasons, that it's really hard to get down to the nitty gritty and just pick 10. Like to pick 10, that's why whenever Clobby would say on the show, he'd be like, "That's a top 10er." Well, I said, doing the math, I'm saying, well, that's like 25 top 10ers, Clobby. Like that's why I used to give him a hard time, but that's because depending on your mood, depending on where you are in your life. And I know Ace Cast Iron, you said it already. It depends on, even just viewing it that night where you say, oh, that makes my top 5 because that was such a great callback to great sci-fi, right? So, of course, my number 1 episode and probably the greatest 1 hour, well, 40 whatever minutes, but 1 hour of science fiction of all time, my favorite hour of science fiction of all time. And that includes Blake 7, that includes Babylon 5, that includes a myriad of other sci-fi shows is Mirror Mirror. That is just my absolute it's a great screenplay, great script. It's a great story. It's great acting. The actors get a chance to come out of their normal shells. You've got the Mirror Sulu. You've got Scotty trying to, put everything together and be that genius that he is because they don't have Spock. Spock is the bad guy in this. Well, bad guy in air quotes, right? You've got Uhura trying to be seductive, but she is just so smart and cunning. And even when she's afraid and she goes to Captain, I'm scared. I'm scared. And he's like, do your job. You're excellent at it. But there was, when we see today and the writing of today where you're so awesome, don't worry, you're the bestest ever. And Kirk didn't do that. Kirk didn't do that, though. He said, do your job and we'll get out of here. And she's like, yes, sir. Right? That's the way you do it. That's a chain of command. And so there's great scenes like that. And every single one of the actors on that show, from Chekhov trying to kill his captain to Sulu and the whole seductive interplay with him and Uhura and him being the security chief and figuring out that there was something wrong in the end. Spock being like Leonard Nimoy is just one of the greatest actors ever lived. Like him being able to play a logical antagonist where he was the bad guy was just
Good night, Chris. Good night, Chris.
He just ate up the scenery. Every scene he was in. Later, Chris. Every scene he was in, he ate up the scenery. And I think the weakest actor out of the whole group is probably Kirk, although McCoy too, a little bit. I think that because they just got to play themselves. They didn't get to have any of the fun except for when Kirk was on the mirror. Kirk was on.
He's just yelling.
He's like, Spock,
prime Kirk.
Spock, what do you want? Women, power. I can get you that, Spock. And I'm like, it's so much easier to play a civilized man in a barbarian society than a barbarian in a civilized society. And just every single second of that episode I love.
When he says, Spock, what is it? What is it that will buy you, Spock? Power? I can get that for you. And Spock goes, fascinating.
Yeah. Your own ship. I can
I can
swing that too.
Like,
Your
it was
agonizer,
just-
please.
Your agonizer. Oh, how about the great scene? Because again, it's my favorite, obviously too. The great scene where when he tells the kid helps him out and against Chekhov, and he goes, "You're in line." And he tells the kid, "You're in line, working for me." All right, you're working for me. He goes, "A commission? You're in line. You might even make captain." Yes, sir. And he pops him. Boom.
Not on my ship.
Not on my ship.
That's because the funny
Classic
thing is
Kirk.
he was channeling the bad Kirk there.
Yeah, he knew that's how the bad Kirk would have acted. I mean,
Yeah, that's right. Oh man,
It's
and
just- it's
that
so
whole
cool.
that whole episode is just one quote after another, and the acting, like they were all on par. Like they were just right there.
It's the
Just
best.
all
It's
of them
the
had a
greatest
chance to
Trek
have
Well,
fun.
here I got to play the quote because this is one of the greatest quote in Trek history, I think.
You must return to your universe. I must have my captain back. I shall operate the transporter. You have 2 minutes and 10 seconds. By that time, I have something to say. How long before the Vulcan prediction of galactic revolt is realized? Approximately 240 years. The inevitable outcome. The Empire shall be overthrown, of course. I submit to you that your empire is illogical because it cannot endure. I submit you are illogical to be a willing part of it. If change is inevitable, predictable, beneficial, doesn't logic demand that you be a part of it? One man cannot summon the future. But one man can change the present. Be the captain of this enterprise, Mr. Spock. Find a logical reason for sparing the Hulkins and make it stick. It is time.
I don't know if we're gonna get in trouble for that.
No,
One man with a vision.
because we're
I
not
don't know,
showing
dude.
any video.
I shall consider
Yeah,
it.
but it sounds.
That shall consider.
No, but they don't. They go by video and not. Yeah.
No, I hope not.
Yeah, I
But
love that
love
too.
it.
That's a great part. Of
Yeah.
I played that on my channel. I played that on my channel before, so.
Yeah, but I'm monetized, so we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I hope.
It can
I
only
think
take
it'll be
one
okay
video down.
because it was
Yeah.
a little bit. It
But
had
I love
some noise over it.
No, I'm so
from
glad he
the
did it.
other
I
one.
love it. That's I
Sorry, yeah, no,
No,
but
no,
that's
don't be
just,
sorry. I love. I mean, it's my favorite.
yeah, that's just the best, and
You
that's
know,
my
they're-
hallmark ornament. Yep. So
Yeah, with this algorithm and crap. But no, I love it, man.
yeah.
Jill, do you have a number one?
My number one is Lord Thoth's number 10. My number one is Devil in the Dark because we get to see
well, I love
an alien who's not humanoid, who's not even carbon based. We get to see a silicon based, and of course, the alien seems to be a monster, but it turns out that we're the ones kind of being monsters, not realizing it though. We don't realize that we're hurting her children. I mean, of course, not we, but the humans
Yep.
in the episode, and the journey to figure out how to communicate and doing mind meld was a huge part. It's a huge part of why I love Star Trek, and Spock's acting, like someone mentioned earlier, was amazing for that scene. And I like how Dr. McCoy doesn't give up when he's tasked with healing the Horta, who he's never worked with a silicon-based creature before. And of course, he says that line, "I'm a doctor, not a bricklayer." But then he proceeds to be a bricklayer, and
Yeah.
and he uses
Right.
some mortar to fix the Horta.
Yeah.
So my favorite part is at the end where the Horta can cooperate with the miners, and they just it's just a classic Star Trek where a compromise is found, and I loved seeing it, and I'll watch it anytime.
Well, I'm with you. I love it. Ace, what's your number one all time if you got one?
Go or stay, but do it because it's what you wish to do.
I love it.
Spacey.
Love it.
No doubt. Just, Star Trek is a lot about all of our childhoods. But for me, I saw Wrath of Khan before I saw Spacey as a little
Oh,
boy. I mean, I
interesting.
was 7 years old.
Oh wow.
And so realizing that Khan had those ties to the original series as I kind of reached back, and I'd seen the motion picture was the first movie I've ever walked into as a human being.
Oh, wow.
And so Wrath of Khan was a continuation of that, but I wasn't an expert yet, or even learning enough to have seen the whole series. And so learning that Khan was in Space Seed, and that he maintained that I don't know, that presence, that integrity, those the anger, the emotion. I just think it's a great episode. I think it's a great it's a very military episode for me, because Kirk, for the majority of the episode, is using his resources to evaluate this man, to understand his motivations, and Khan sees it. I mean, they literally speak about it when he's calling him out. You're an excellent tactician. You let your second in command attack while you sit and watch for weakness. But I think, to me, there's so many perfect episodes. For me, that's the one that affected me the most when it comes to just the performances, the characters themselves. And if you go back, you look at it, you have to ask yourself, how did you feel that episode affected your thoughts about our own future? And I remember that when I first watched it. Okay, so 1999, and at that time it might have been 1983 that I saw it. So it I don't know that we saw a whole lot of that, because some of the other episodes that call into the past are more of the late 60s, early 70s type era, where Khan and Space Seed is the first time we see something into the 90s and beyond that shows us, somewhat of a potential for a post-apocalyptic world that eventually becomes, the Federation we see in somewhat of Enterprise. But just awesome episode. His what was it?
MacGyver's, yes.
Yeah, whatever her name was. I thought she was great.
Marla MacGyver's.
Marla MacGyver's. I thought she. I thought she was great, and everything bad happened in Wrath of Khan because she died, because Kirk killed her. I shall leave you as you left me, as you left her, marooned
For all
eternity on a desert island, buried alive.
Loves him some Khan.
Stella.
Great stuff.
Mark D with the C there saying, Stella. No, wait, Khan.
Well, you have ours. You have mine and LT's. And
I got
Ace's
mine now too. I
and
can
Anti-Derivative Jill. But Mark D said he hates the show and doesn't want to give you any.
Yeah, I never like to talk about it.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead and run down yours.
I'll run down mine real quick, because we all did.
You don't have to be that quick.
Well, except for ones maybe we didn't talk about. I'll mention a little bit, but I'll go 10 down. So, and of course this list is impossible, and I did it on the fly, so probably have to change it.
I know. It was the last minute thing.
But that's okay. These are. There's just so many great first season episodes. Especially the first season. Yeah.
Go for it, bro.
So Menagerie is just an amazing. Amazing episode, 2-part. I don't know if was that on anyone's list, or was that
I gave it an honorable mention there. But yeah, it would be in my top 15.
Yeah,
it's in my top 10.
Yeah, it's a top episode, and just love the Spock, and that's how you just show that devotion to the commander. And that's so early on in the series too. That's episode 11 and 12. So just a wonderful episode, wonderful sci-fi concepts, and just an amazing episode. Of course, the rework of the pilot, and for years we'd never, the cage, I guess, doesn't really. I guess that does that count as an episode of Trek, or is that considered the pilot?
Yes,
that counts, right? Yeah.
And it just came out later than all the other.
Yeah, and then we were watching it. The first time I saw it, it was in black and white, the sections that Roddenberry had found, and then a few years later, they found it in color. So that was the first time that I saw that all in color. I was like, wow, they have it. But that's just a great episode. Number 9, Where No Man Has Gone Before. If I'm thinking about original episodes, early episodes, but that just sets up the series just so well. On that, and the whole idea of becoming super powerful, and what happens when you're when your mind accelerates, and it's almost like a superhero episode. And of course, it's as an engineer, it's the only episode I think with the phaser rifle, and I've included almost all the every episode, but I have a statue of Kirk with the phaser rifle from that episode on my shelf. I can't get it down.
Oh, nice. I've seen that one. That was great. Yeah.
And so that and I'll just go through. Of course, Mirror is my number 8. I got to figure out a way to move that up higher. But of course, we talked about that one. Number 7, Amok Time, just an amazing episode. 6, Trouble with Tribbles. 5, Corbinite Maneuver. I don't know if anyone's
I
mentioned.
love Corbomite Maneuver. It's close to my top.
Absolutely.
Yep. So
It's my number
and
12,
that one is
actually.
another great setup episode. So it's another great,
Great
with
episode,
the Kirk bluffing. That's quintessential Kirk, and that was, I guess that was the 10th episode filmed. So just so amazing to have that episode, or no, what number in Prod Order? I think that's earlier in the Prod Order. Prod Order 5, yeah.
Which one are you talking about?
Yeah,
He plays
Corbinite.
poker.
Corbomite's very early.
Yeah, 5,
Second
yeah.
or third, fourth, something
Something like
there.
that.
Yeah.
Well, I guess if you count the pilots, yeah, but but just shows you how much of a handle they had on the idea of Star Trek. You always say, well, it takes a while for a show to get their sea legs and
Right.
get on track, and right away, if you watch, the Corbinite Maneuver, there's no doubts where they're going. You're in for a great ride. I mean, it's just they've got those characters down pat. I mean, you could argue, TNG takes a long time to get rolling. DS9, I would say the first season, it's kind of slow. It does pick up, but in the right away in these first episodes. So number 4 is Doomsday Machine. We've said enough about that one.
Okay, Wendy, have a great night, my dear.
Good night,
Take care,
Wendy.
Wendy.
Thank you for being here.
3 would be Devil in the Dark. I just love that. Love that
Love it.
episode.
Love it.
And I'll give my honorable mentions after. 2 is City on the Edge of Forever. I think that's just a timeless story. Just the classic. Can't say any more about it. And of course, number 1 would be Galileo 7. That's my happy Star Trek episode, even though it's a tragic tale. And just
Fantastic.
and the ones I was agonizing, I got to work on my list. But number 15 was Space Seed, 14 Journey to Babel, 13 Court Martial, 12 Balance of Terror, and 11 Arena. But I got to, all those episodes, any of those could be, land in your top 5. And no one mentioned Piece of the Action. I guess that's another one that's a
love that one.
Great episode. Tholian Web, but we don't.
I got it in my top 25 at least.
Yeah, in that rabbit hole, but talking about it, but it's kind of like I was going my averages of like the first season. It's like like a 3.7, up average. So it's like almost an A average on that first season. Just an LT is a tough grader here, but I mean,
only had 3 A's in the whole series.
He's a stingy grader. That
you only
LT.
have 3 A's in Star Trek. TOS?
No, in TOS.
Wow, TOS.
I think I had 2 in Next Generation.
Yeah,
Wow.
he's such a tough grader, which is why tonight it's
Yeah, that's
really
what-
nice to hear him.
That's why
talk
Raquel's
how much
always teasing him.
the ones he loves.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Wow,
you're right,
only
Joe. That's
3
why
A's in
Raquel's always messing
TOS?
with him about that.
Like, God, what do these guys have to do? I mean,
Yeah, damn, dude. you're
I'm
so
glad I
stingy.
don't have you're not my
Damn, bud.
professor. God.
A is a high bar to set. Like, it's easy
Yeah.
to get
Sure,
B's
sure.
and C's, but A's that's perfection, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can have a lot of great B
B
pluses.
pluses.
Like, there's
Yeah,
a lot of great B pluses in season 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And actually, my whole top 10, they're all at least B pluses, at least. So, but you're
Yeah.
right. And Next Generation, there's a lot of B's. There's a lot more D's, but there's a lot of B's,
Yeah.
and there's only a couple of A's. And there might be there's a couple of A's in DS9. I think there's probably more A's in DS9 for me than there are in Next Generation.
I
Well,
probably agree with
there are
that.
a lot
I
of
think,
there are a
that's
lot of
smart.
B's. There are
Yep.
a lot of B's
Yeah.
that y'all have given D's that I guess I'm a little nicer sometimes.
You are nice, Jill. Damn you for being so nice.
I know. I gotta
Daddy's
work on
Daddy
that.
Steve mentioned his favorite episode is Piece of the Action. So he's like, no one mentioned Piece of man, dude. I have it.
Yeah, I just did.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you did mention it. I have it at my number 22, man. It's in my top 25, brother. So I do love it now. I mean, if it's in my top 25, I love it. It's not a
outsider.
it's not a matter of it's okay. No, if it's in my top 25, hey, oh damn, Phantom Outside. Always, all you need is to give Lord kind of plain manila envelope stuffed with 50s or 100s. So James Caserta, hello there.
And good night to Dadman Walking.
Dad
Take
man.
care, Dad man. Feel better, buddy.
I hope you feel better, man. It's good to see you
Yeah,
here.
take
We
care of yourself,
appreciate you.
man.
Yeah. Be good,
Oh
buddy.
yeah, that's a good point, Phantom Outsider. Charlie X is fantastic.
It's in my again.
That
A
was
lot
in
of the
my
ones they're
top,
mentioning
yeah.
in my top 25. So again, if
And
you're in my top 25, I love it. Not casual. I love it.
I might put Return of the Archon somewhere in my 10.
Well, I don't blame you.
Really?
I don't blame you. So we got a bunch of them started here. Our friends in the chat gave us a few little lists. Some are 5 or 10 or whatever, and I want to give them some attention, some shout out, like we usually do every week when we're reviewing on episodes. Episodes. Ace will get that one. So let's see here. So let me see. Our buddy JD Lewis has a list for us. 10, Tholian Webb. Cool. 9, Conscious of the King. That made Ace's list there. 8, Shore Leave. That's in my top 25. I love it. And Jill mentioned it. Arena at number 6. Excellent. Amok Time 5. Balance of Terra 4. Mira Mira 3. Yay. Well, no man has gone before at 2. And his favorite episode is no, I've got him back. I was going in the wrong direction. Anyway, so 2 would be Doomsday Machine, and 1 would be Space Seeds. I was putting the numbers wrong, everyone, but that is basically his JD's list. I think he had to run. I'm not sure, but thank you for that, buddy. A great list, and just like Ace, he's got Space Seed at number 1, which is a great choice, right?
Fantastic list.
Scotty says he's got 3 here for us here. Top 3, Amok Time, Squire. I've got those. For the World is Hollow and I've Touched the Sky. Well, we got a 3rd seasoner on there. That's okay.
Yeah.
And very cool. And
that is an interesting episode. Yeah, that's a out of the box.
I love Squire. Got those.
Yeah, me too. He. I feel like eventually Gene subconsciously used it for Q.
Yep, I think
without
so.
realizing it.
Yeah.
Matthew Pounder says, "Sit on the edge forever. All our yesterdays. A piece of the action." See, there you go, Steve. Another piece of the action. The Galileo 7 and the Enterprise Incident. Fine ones.
It's a great 3rd season episode there. Yep.
I do love Enterprise Incident. Wolfie says, minor based on most memorable due to availability. Local VHS rental place. Only had a few episodes. The Cage, Doomsday Machine, Space Seed, a Corbo Mike Maneuver. Well, fine ones there for sure,
Great
Wolfie.
picks, yeah.
I love that history.
I think, yes, indeed. Well, Raymond, I think, had to run. But he's got 5, The Doomsday Machine, 4, Mirror Mirror, 3, Space Seed, 2, The Trouble with Tribbles, and 1, Balance of Terror. Thank you, Raymond, buddy. King Dolphin TV, everyone.
Great list. Yes,
Jade,
King Dolphin TV.
Indeed. Our buddy JT Kirk says, 5, The Doomsday Machine, 4, Mirror Mirror, 3, The Corbo Might Maneuver, or as the way Ted Cass, The Corbo Might Maneuver. The Trouble with Tribbles, where no trouble at all. Changeling. Changeling is a great one. And about 30 others that should also be on the list. Yes. 30 should definitely be in your top 5.
Yeah, that's a great line. Yeah.
Yep.
You always quote from the animated series Tribble episode.
The Dedisness. Anaxamandabear says, the stuff I remember is so random. I can only choose Trouble with Tribbles, that one with the half black, half white guys.
Let that be your last battlefield.
Right. Let that be your last Riddler. Which is cool. There you go. Kal-El, buddy, the Super One himself, says 10, Mirror Mirror. I'm ashamed of you. 10? Dude, you are fired. Just kidding. Love you, Kal. I'm kidding, buddy. Mirror Mirror at 10. 9, The Squire of Gothos. 8, Tomorrow's Yesterday. No one's brought that up yet. Good one. The
Good
Galileo,
one.
yep. 7, Galileo 7. Yeah. 6, Balance of Terror. 5, The Enemy Within. Another excellent one that hadn't been mentioned yet. There you go. 4, Court Martial. 3, A Taste of Armageddon.
Oh, yes.
That's a great one. A great
Yep.
one. It's in my top 25, of course. And 2, Conscious of the King, and 1, Space Seed. Tied. Another one. That's another with the Aces number 1 there. So, Pleasant Valley Picker says 10, Spectre of the Gun, a classic with Scotty and Chekhov. Number 9, The Tholian Web.
Great
Number
one, yeah.
8, The Enterprise Incident. Hang on. Karn, I guess that's how you say it. Karn the Befriender. Now that I can see it on the big screen there. It's a tough choice between Mirror Mirror and Amok Time for number 1 for him. Well, excellent. It is a tough choice. I understand. 7, Metamorphosis for Pleasant Valley Picker.
That's a great
6,
episode too. Yeah.
Devil. I do like. I love it. I love Metamorphosis. Devil in the Dark at 6. Let's see. Number 4, About Time, and Jesus. Let's see here. And number 3, Obsession. Well, I've never the one's a Mission Obsession yet. Good one. 2, The Doomsday Machine, and number 1, Mirror Mirror. With you there, buddy.
Obsession, yeah, that's an interesting episode with Kirk. It's the Moby Dick story, but it's really and the whole that's the one where the creature is just sucking. What was he sucking? It's like kind of like the salt vampire. I'm trying to remember what he was doing.
Wait a minute, what episode you mentioning again?
Oh, obsession, right? When he wants to kill that creature.
That's the basically the cloud.
It smells like honey, right? Didn't it smell like honey?
Right.
Yeah, that was a creepy episode, but that was that's another real interesting episode.
Right. No, it's a great one. It's a great one.
Yeah.
Basically it kind of sucks the heme a little bit out of people or whatever.
Yeah, that's what it was. Right? Yeah, like a amoeba vampire.
Oh, there you go. Sorry, and popped out. Well, yeah, we read yours there, Pleasant. So there you go. The potassium vampire. Man Trap. I wasn't big on the Man Trap personally.
That episode always scared me as a kid too. When you watch those up, it's different when you watch those as a little kid too. You see him as a 7 or 8 year old. Like Arena scared the crap out of me. That's probably one of the first episodes I remember watching. If my brain is working right, and that one really scared me. And then the other one that really scared me is By Any Other Name, when they crush the crew member. They turn him into.
I love that episode though.
Yeah,
turn him into a little. Dodecahedron of
salt or whatever you want to call. Yeah, and then the guy crushes one.
Powder thing.
Like,
yeah.
I'm like, Mom, they just killed someone on Star Trek. Maybe you shouldn't be watching that sci-fi stuff. Yeah,
I love that episode. So
one of the most beautiful antagonists in Star Trek history too.
Hell yeah, yeah.
She was hot.
She was something. How many? I love
it. Hey, baby.
It's green. You got it's green, right?
Yep, that's right.
It's green. Well, that's green. When you think about it. Is there a weirder episode of original series than By Any Other Name? What I mean by that is, it starts off deadly serious. The first 2 or 3, almost the first 2 quarters of the episode. They've murdered somebody. They're taking over the Enterprise. They're taking them out of the galaxy. It's no laughing matter. And then all of a sudden it transmogrifies, if you will, into a humor episode where they're starting to mess with the emotions of the aliens. And Scotty has this little scene. Kirk's messing around trying to get Rojan, jealous, and McCoy's messing with his guy, and it becomes almost a comedy in the last bit, which is fun. I love it, but it is kind of a strange. It's not like a full-on comedy like Trouble with Tribbles or By Mud or a Piece of the Action. It starts out one way, head fakes, then goes another more lighthearted way at the end. And but I love it. I love the episode. So
yeah, it's a classic story, and a great side. When they're Calvins, right, and they're coming from another another galaxy, and that whole thought of coming from another galaxy, and then they're adjusting to the body, the human bodies and all the emotions, and that's why it's such a great examination of the human condition. That's why we love Star Trek.
Right.
It's asking all those questions, and you're enjoying the episode, and you're getting terrified by the episode, and then you can think about it a little bit deeper at that next level, versus as a kid just watching it, it's kind of like an action. It's more like an action episode and a fun episode. But when you analyze it, it's and I hope that that's what they keep saying. If aliens come here, they might not be so friendly. That's what was it Carl. Not Carl Sagan.
Carl Sagan.
Stephen Hawking.
Stephen Hawking. Thank you. Yes, Hawking
Jack
said,
Kirby used to say that even.
Maybe don't send out a signal to the universe where we are. They might come for our water and our supplies. So yeah.
Yeah, he didn't think SETI's such a great idea.
Well, we got Will Smith to slap them, and we're good.
Yeah. It felt good though, because we've been having a wonderful. You guys are all fantastic. We have a wonderful time reviewing the show and stuff. Raquel and I just have such a great time doing this on Saturday nights. She'll be back next Saturday night, but it felt good to, although I wish she was here to do it with us, to be able to talk a little original series. Again, that's kind of why I decided to go that way at last minute. We didn't know about this, everyone, until Thursday night late that she wasn't going to be able to be here. So we thought we were doing a normal show. So we no time to prep for anything. And I've always, LT and I have always teased each other about the top tenors and stuff like that. So
True.
But we had nothing. I had
So
zero.
who wants to go back
So-
to rewatch all those episodes
No, I
and count
do.
every time
Do it.
Clobberin Time says the top tenor and document?
Go back.
before-
I know
did-
it wasn't
I
more
missed-
than 10
I wasn't-
times.
I wasn't here for TOS, so let's review all those all over again.
There you go.
if you
But
do
what-
watch them, Joe, mark down what every time Clobby says
Yeah.
it's the top
No,
tenor.
Yeah, she's talking about the show though. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know if
yeah,
oh, that's right. You weren't here for the TOS. That's right.
yeah. So if you ever rewatch them, yeah.
Yeah, I know I
Yeah,
didn't say it. I
I
don't
know.
know if saying it's nearly as much as LT likes to say, but that's okay.
Rumors and lies.
But but what I say is it was fun to be able to just talk some original series tonight because we've been every week. It's I will Pleasant. I will send her your best. She'll be back next week, and back at the clubhouse this Thursday.
Yes,
But-
all the love to Raquel out there, whatever you do.
Oh well, big time.
Enjoy your away mission. Stay
But we had
safe.
fun doing that, just talking episodes. I figured that's the safest bet because I wanted to get LT's top and everyone else's favorite episodes. I guess we could have talked everyone's least favorite, but I'm tired of that right now. Because
No,
quite
this is
frankly,
more
next
fun.
generation. There's some good ones we've been doing and some not so good ones, and some of us have made the mistake of watching some filth recently. It's so depressing to
Yeah.
watch filth. You got to go cleanse your palate.
That's what I've been doing.
Jill and I reviewed some filth yesterday on her channel. So the Orville's coming back in June. We've got 18
Awesome.
days for the. I don't know if any of you, if we have any Orville fans on this panel.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes, maybe.
Ace, have you watched Orville yet?
Absolutely.
It's been 4 damn years since the show, and so now I decided since I got this reprieve, I didn't have to watch those episodes this week of TNG. I started back binging the Orville. 'Cause it's been 4 years since I watched it because I've been waiting I wanted to wait till right the third season come out so I could rewatch them again because I watched them so many times back when they first came out. So and I just started the first season. I'm like, this feels so good to watch this. And
Yes, it's like getting
Yep.
brand new episodes of good
It's-
Star Trek.
right, exactly. It feels like you've got something that was made in the modern day that doesn't dump all over Star Trek. In fact, shows the love it shows for Star Trek, meaning the Orville, and yet it's its own animal in some ways as well. It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah, I've been
Phenomenal.
reviewing 2 episodes every
oh
Tuesday
good,
at noon.
good. I just started with
Um,
that first season, and man, I just wow, I just love it. It's a shame it's
That's
only
right, yeah.
12 of the year, right?
Yeah, and
Oh.
we're in the middle of reviewing Identity, which is a great 2-parter.
Oh yeah, the best of both worlds identity.
Yes, the best of
I'm
both
kidding. I kid.
identities. No, you're not wrong.
No, yeah, I mean, it was, but in a good way though. It was good though.
That was a
So-
Yeah,
scary
they make
episode
it
too.
they
when
make
that-
it their own.
That episode
Mhm.
was scary.
Yeah, and you're like, oh my god, Isaac is actually a probe, really analyzing us, and not to see if we're worthy of survival or continuation. So it is, it's kind of the opposite of the Borg in a way. They're not assimilating us, but it's the same, the same
Kind of more
idea,
like
but it just-
you. All right, do
Yeah.
you deserve to be here?
a judge, yeah. But that could happen though if AI goes wrong. I mean, just look at how
Yeah.
things go bad with computers these days, and look at the the Max airplane. Was it the 757 Max with the engines that they put oversized engines on it? That it's basically as an AI LT, you're the pilot, but they had they couldn't fly the aircraft stable. They're preventing the aircraft from stalling. They had a computer program, and a couple of the planes crashed, and think of all the people that got killed. And it was really the pilots couldn't fly the plane. The AI or the program took over, and it's not the same exact thing in terms of evil AI in terms of wiping people out, but it's that same kind of same notion where technology gone wrong, and God, I can't just imagine the pilots flying the plane and not being able to control it because the computer's taking over, and sensors have gone wrong, and the plane is going down because of that. So that's really hits home in terms of what could happen in the future. It's why we love science fiction. It doesn't always paint a pretty picture all
there
the
you
time either.
All right, JD, good to see you, man. Thank you for being here. We appreciate you, buddy. So
yes, an optimistic show can still have warnings in it.
right. I want to go around the panel now because we're gonna be closing this up in a second here. I want to get any final words on Trek or anything from our good friend Lord Thoth. We'll start with you because I hadn't seen in a while.
After watching Discovery and Picard this season and
Ugh.
watching Strange New Worlds, this was
Ugh.
just such an amazing palate cleanser, as you said. It's fun going back and watching these again up here in Canada. I get to watch them on our version of the Sci-Fi Channel on Mondays, and it's funny because my wife will come in and I'll be watching it, getting ready for bed, and she's like, "Haven't you seen that episode like 5,000 times?"
Yep.
I'm like, "Well, yeah." I might have missed something the last 5,000 times I saw it. I've got to watch it 5,000 more. It's just so much fun going back and talking about my true love. I've always been more of a Star Trek fan than a Star Wars fan. I feel for all the Star Wars fans out there going through the same thing that we're going through as Star Trek fans since 2009. And yeah, it's great going back to the good old days of, Kirk, Spock, McCoy, the rest of the crew, and just seeing great storytelling and great sci-fi, and it takes me back. It really is. It's so much fun because I remember growing up watching these shows, and I think they were really instrumental in making me the man I am today. And I learned about honor, I learned about duty, I learned about comradeship and friendship and love and loss and pain and anguish and sacrifice and so many other of those human emotions that Spock would say are illogical. But
Yes.
and I just wanted to say this, that what an honor it was to be a part of the panel here with all you great panelists and everybody in the chat. Thank you for taking this journey with us. It was a lot of fun. I love reading all of your comments and points because we're not all the same, and I like having different interpretations of different episodes and everybody's favorite lists because they were all different, which I find amazing because I'm thinking, no, these are the best 10 episodes of Star Trek, but yet the next person next to me, like Jill, you have a completely different list, right? And Mark and Clobby
Yeah.
and of course the great cast iron.
Ace Cast Iron. Yes,
Ace
indeed.
Cast Iron. It's so good to just hear everybody's interpretation of the episode because it's different for everybody, and how it impacted them at a certain point in their lives is different. And that's what really sticks with you. What you might find is your favorite is somebody else's number 7 or whatever. And I love hearing that. So this was a lot of fun. Thank you very much. I look forward to doing it again.
Anytime, buddy. Absolutely. Thank you so much for being here, man. Really appreciate it. LT, and hey, soon, Blake 7 and Legion shows. People think I'm kidding. People say I'm kidding.
Avon lives.
Oh, Cloud doesn't have a list.
Yeah, he hates lists. He likes to aggravate me about lists.
All right.
Yeah, Minimus. I wouldn't say his real name. It's Minimus Prime. Ace Cast Iron. Dude, an unexpected pleasure to have you with us tonight, man. And you've got to come back, dude, and hang out with us again, do some Trek talking or whatever. Or when you still need to talk comics, of course, because you hadn't done that with me yet on here. But any final words about Star Trek? We all had a lot of fun hanging with you and talking real deal Trek tonight.
It's certainly an honor to be back in the Baxter Building basement.
Yeah,
I think this is the first live show I've been on since the way back days when you first started.
Yeah, it might be.
And so it was great. Enjoyed being with everybody. Enjoyed discussing those episodes. And the older you get, the more you remember the things that take the stressors off your life. And for me, that's just good old geek stuff. And being able to talk about some of those things. We've grown from being in comic shops and talking to using these types of devices to reach out to folks all over the planet. And so it's an amazing platform. It's a great show. And it's been an honor to be on it with you and the rest of the crew. And I appreciate your thoughts and the time with you.
I appreciate you being here, man. It is so great to see you, buddy. Jill, thanks again for hanging out with us tonight. And of course, again, having me on your show yesterday. Any final thoughts and anything you'd like to say, of course, not only about Star Trek, but after that, of course, plug anything you got coming up on your channel. And I know LT doesn't really do anything with his channel, and I don't think Ace has a channel right now. Or do you, by the way, Ace? I don't think you have one yet. Right? But he might, but he will. So, Jill, what's going on?
Well, so I love the storytelling and the characters too and Star Trek, but what draws me most is the science fiction and comparing it to what we have today and what we can have tomorrow if we work together, and no matter what else, like what terrible things happen in the world, we still today have scientists getting together to get and working on experiments and doing things for humanity, going on the ISS, and stuff like that. And it's just great to see what future we could have if we get over all the ugliness and all the horrors and stuff, and
Absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely.
and it's fun, and it's fun to just imagine all the sort of stuff. I love Star Trek, and I do have a channel. I'll put the link in.
Yeah, I've just put it up.
Oh,
in
thank you
the
very
chat.
much,
So,
Mark.
yep, everyone sub to Jill's awesome channel and great discussions there. Yep, you're doing some great
Yes,
streams.
yes. Every Tuesday, I review the Orville, and we're on Identity Part 2, and
Excellent.
and on Fridays I have an open panel where lately I've been lucky enough to have Clobby on whenever he can.
Thank
You're
you.
not obligated to be on every Friday or anything.
When I could be
but-
there, though, if I'm home, I love hanging out with you, so it's cool.
Awesome.
Oliver Belamonte, hello there. Thanks for popping in. Well, thank you so much, Jill. I really, really appreciate you being here with us tonight. You're a wonderful communications officer, and you're the best. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. The honor's all mine.
A great chief engineer, Mark D with the C. Thanks so much for being here tonight, bud. Final closing words about Trek, if you have any, and of course, what's going on with your channel.
Yeah, thank you. Well, of course, no one mentioned bread and circuses. Love doing all these toys. So,
he's got toys.
There's bread. There's a Coliseum with Spock. Yeah, like someone mentioned bread and circuses, please.
I love that you have a toy for every episode. It's just so amazing.
Yeah, that's great.
So me with the toys. So yeah, put my channel link in. But I love toys. I didn't realize how many toys I had just until I love starting this channel and just kind of going through all the quote unquote junk, as my wife affectionately says. And so I've been doing a lot of toy reviews. I got a video I'm dropping next couple of days on Pigs in Space. Play set, and just love hanging out here. It was just so much fun to be here tonight in chat Star Trek, and great to meet Ace live. I guess we'll say I've seen in the chat a bunch of times, but great perspective on all of these episodes. And the fun thing is, I think that LT was mentioning we all have different episodes, the top 10, but I think the one thing we'd agree on is, pretty much for the most part, is every episode was named, everyone will say, oh, that was a really good episode, right? So in terms of there's no clunker, there's no debate really about how awesome TOS is. Maybe only a few A's, I guess, for LT, teasing, but just the quality of that don't zap me, but the quality of that that whole show is, that's why we love it so much, and we buy all the books and the toys and the communicators and the phasers, and just loving people cosplay it. And look, we're this is like a virtual Star Trek con every Saturday night, which is why I love it. So
we try. Yeah.
Me too.
It is, yeah.
Yep.
So you get to hang out with everyone and chat Star Trek, and you don't know, thanks to this Star Trek technology we have, when you think about it, we can now do it. I mean, back in the old days, you had to go to a con, or I'd have some good buddies. A bunch of us, I'm sure, grew up with the same kind of friends where we'd watch Star Trek on a Saturday night and pop in a VHS tape and watch it for the 1,000th time and drink some beers and chat, talk about the episode. But this is just such a wonderful chance. I really appreciate Clobberin Times for making this space/show, and it's always a highlight of the week. So thank you. And so tomorrow night, I should mention, Sunday Night Geekery. I'm a huge Rangers fan. I know your buddy is it Flash, who's the Penguins fan. So
They're playing tomorrow night. The two of them playing
game 7. I think 7 p.m. So I'm gonna show usually starts at 10 p.m. Eastern, but hopefully the Rangers will get out to a quick win and it'll be over in 3 periods.
Yeah,
but
you start it a little bit later if you have to.
I might start it later. Yeah, just start it after the game. Game 7. You can't miss a game 7 if you're a hockey fan. So, but yeah, hopefully you can be on there. And yep, good luck. Yep. So look for that post on Twitter when that starts. But always appreciate everyone hanging out. We've had some, a lot of fun on that show on Sunday night, and we'll continue talking Trek and geek stuff on Sunday night.
I agree completely what you say about those conventions. The panels were nice, especially Shatner's, but my favorite time was when I just went to go sit at a table with other fans and just have fun. And that's what we're here. So.
That's what we're here for, to have fun. So yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you all so much for being here with us tonight. Quick show note, and we'll say our goodbyes and get out of here. Quickly, let's see what we got. What? Well, Monday night, Mark C. Comics Talk. I'm not exactly sure what I'll do yet. Hopefully, we won't lose any more legends this week. Just an open talk thing. We're gonna have some classic comics reviews coming up soon. I've got to get those together. And of course, Wednesday night will be an open talk show. Of course, where I'll just interact with you all as I always do. Bobby's Clubhouse Thursday night, and next Saturday night we will have 4 more episodes. Zodes to review. Zodes. It's the thing with us. We sing Zodes. Anyway, so thank you all so much. We really appreciate you. Let me say very quickly here goodbye to, of course, Phantom Outsider, the Comic Relief Crusader, Kal-El Buddy, Pleasant Valley Picker, Raymond Feliciano. Even if they're gone or not, they get a shout out really quickly. That's a tradition here. We stick to it. JT Kirk, my friend, Apollomies Minion, and Pupper. Enigmatic Drop Bear was here earlier. Good to see you there. The great Steve Mitchum, Maddie's daddy. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, Michael Beacom. Michael Beacom popped in. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, he's at a charity event.
All right. So, well, it's always good to see you pop in there, brother. Appreciate it.
Yeah, great to see you.
Did I an Amanda Bear? Thank you. The Catman, aka Dee Myers. Mr. Angel. I know the chef had to run out, but hail to him. The wonderful Wendy Webb had to run, but hail Wendy Webb. Psychosis 29. Thank you so much. Wolfie, thank you for being here. Pop Culture Curator, thank you for being here so much. Appreciate you. The lovely Sandra Feliciano was here. Thank you. JD Lewis, my friend, thank you for being here. Good to see you. Grant C, the great Grant C, the superhero sidekick to the great Ace. Thank you, and I hope you're doing well. Karn, the Befriender. Thank you for being here, sir. Just Joe, Jobber Buddy. Good to see you, man. Thank you. The great Chris Persia, of course. Dad Man Walking. Feel better, the Dad Man Clan. Captain James C. Skywalker. Max Redstone popped in earlier. Good to see you, buddy. Tyrell 72. Thank you so much for being here. Milton Knowles. Thank you. That 70s rock fan, our good friend. Cam Loops.
He was here.
Maybe did pop in. The Cam Loops was here. Yeah. Parrothead, buddy. Wasting away. Project Storytime, my friend popped in. The great Eric K., the Red Sir of Bronze. Alano Mas, a superhero in his own right. Good to see you, sir. Cam, good to see you, buddy. Keely Chow, an insincere roll tide to you. But he doesn't. The lovely, beautiful Sherry was here. Zan Zoltan, thank you for popping in. Monkey Jeebus. I can't say Monkey Jeebus the way Raquel says it. Sorry. TMF, Toxic Manflu. Thank you so much, buddy. Appreciate you. And Scotty, thank you for being here. Matthew Pounder, my friend. That's good to see you. James Caserta, thank you for popping in. Oliver Bellamonte, good to see you. And Michael Beacom, good to see you, my friend. Thank you all. Hope I didn't miss anyone. But I'm senile and I miss things sometimes. So, what's that?
And Phantom Outsider says, what about Clobby's favorite, the Alternative Factory?
Well, I think we'll let Raquel answer that.
Crap.
I protest. I am not a merry man.
All right, everybody. Thank you all so much. And we will see. I hope to see you all back Monday night. And of course, back next week by Saturday night Star Trek. Good night, everybody.